Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's time for another episode of Longtime Watcher, First Time Rider. It's episode 68, baby. Damn near 70 of these episodes we have done. That's crazy. That's fucked up and evil. Someone stop us. Anyway, until someone does stop us, I will continue to be your host, King Fast the 95th, and I will continue to be joined by an excellent cast of first-time writers, which includes Action Shakespeare.
Today is Friday in California.
So true.
Shoot!
B drops.
Well, I guess it's Friday here as well. It's probably Friday in most places.
And the Iliendic Nonagon, or the Elendic Nonagon. I forget how to say it. It's been so long.
Iliendic.
Has it?
The Nonagon.
Our good friend.
It's Friday night. There's always time for fun. Let's
so
dance.
true.
Let's dance.
I didn't have a fun meme to bring to the party. I'm sorry.
I was in my head, I was like trying to will you to use Ahoy There Sailor, you made it to Friday. But it's okay.
That's your thing.
I'm sorry.
How'd you fuck that up?
Well, no, I was trying to give it to B because I was hosting. I was doing host stuff.
I'm sorry. I've failed you as a guest.
Somehow I still play Fats.
I will
you
accept
can
this
blame
blame.
Yeah, that's fair.
No. You can hold me accountable.
Okay, hold on. If someone is trying to mind beam information into your brain and you do not receive that information, I feel like it's on the fault of the other person.
Yeah, were they beaming hard enough?
It's the metal plates.
They should have accounted for that.
Yeah. They gotta beam hard enough to break through the wall.
Beam my head harder.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
We have to talk about Kamen Rider.
Oh, right. Kamen Rider. My friend.
We do. We've got to talk
Yes.
about 5 very interesting episodes of Kamen Rider.
That's the word you use.
What podcast episode is this?
This is 68. I said that already.
Okay.
Where am I?
Maybe my head was beamed a little too hard. What episodes are we covering in this podcast, episode 68?
We're going to be covering 5 of them. That's going to be grain of salt on these episode titles. One of the few things I remember, I don't remember much from my watch, I'll be honest, but I remember that a lot of these names were not the same when we watched them as they are here on the wiki, so grain of salt. But they are going to be episode 28, The Scarab That Invites Hell. Episode 29, The Target's a Death Mask. Episode 30, Aloha to an Assassin. Episode 31, Burn, Boy Warriors. And episode 32, Dream Girl Yuki.
Burn them.
Burn the Boy Warriors! That full-on sounds like a fucking toy TV show from the, like, late 80s, early 90s. A la, like, He-Man and Ninja Turtles and Transformers.
Yeah, it's called Kamen Rider Black.
Collect all your Boy Warriors in this exclusive set.
Yeah.
New Kamen Rider Black Transforming Action Figure.
All 4 of them.
Comes with everything you see here.
So what happened in these episodes?
True. Yeah, let's talk about what happened in these incredibly strange episodes, starting with episode 28, The Scarab That Invites Hell. Original air date April 24th, 1988. Let me tell you, it's real shrimple. Bergania uses a scarab beetle monster to create a craze for its minions, forcing Kotaro into a corner and trying to stem this greedy obsession. Then we got old episode 29, The Target's a Death Mask. Original 88, May 1st, 1988. In which Kotaro must rescue 4 Japanese astronauts when they're abducted and replaced with doll-like clones controlled by the armadillo monster. We got Aloha to an Assassin, episode 30, original air date May 8th, 1988, in which, when a special female assassin is created by Gogum in Hawaii and sent to Japan to go after Kotaro, Ryusuke Taki returns to help deal with protecting them. Hell yeah, baby, Taki episode, let's go. Can I get some whoops in the chat for Taki episode?
Yay!
Whoop.
Fuck yeah. We got Burn Boy Warriors, Kamen Rider Black episode 31, original air date May 15th, 1988. The Golgum Boy Warriors reunite with Kotaro to help save children being abducted by Golgum to create a new, stronger generation of child warriors. And then Dream Girl Yuki, original Kamen Rider Black episode 32, original air date May 22nd, 1988. This one doesn't have a synopsis on the wiki, but basically, what the fuck is Goganite Girl's actual name?
Bisham,
yeah. That's it. Bisham
sorry.
Bisham uses a mushroom monster to start, like, giving little kids hallucinations and weird dreams that draw them to a weird hallucination church thing that she has, where she feeds them evil mushroom soup that turns them into delinquents.
Mushroom Man.
Mushroom
Man. Dance. Mushroom Dance.
What
you
does
are not
it
free
mean?
of sin.
True. You know what else isn't free of sin? These 5 episodes, as far as I'm considered.
Yeah.
I agree with both of these statements.
Boy, howdy, this was a weird fucking set, boys.
I had a lot of fun with this one in this set, actually.
You know, that's fair. I think I maybe
degrees.
only had slightly less fun just because I had to do these episodes pretty late in the day and I was very tired. I think if I had gotten a little bit more leisure with my viewing, I might have had a better time.
I watched these with Fiona, and it was genuinely just like 100 minutes of going, hey, what the hell is happening? Why is it happening like this? This sucks.
What?
Yeah, basically.
Why is everyone hating? These are some of those fun episodes we watched in a long time.
Well,
I had fun with these episodes.
What the hell?
I had fun with them. It's just there's so much and so little at the same time.
Yeah, it is one of those things where part of having fun with these episodes is being willing and able to take a moment to go, man, this sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
This is fully nothing.
I disagree. This
I
shit rules 100%. Like, of course it's nothing. It's a fucking Kamen Rider Black episode. Most of them are nothing, but this nothing is full of something.
Some of them at least attempt to try to be anything. These ones didn't even fucking try.
yeah.
They did a little.
Oh, I thought mixed execution maybe,
Yeah.
but I had a good time and I think they had interesting ideas.
Conceptually, they are good. It's just, man, some of them are just so silly.
I think we should get less vague about this. Shall we start with episode 28? What are our feelings about this first one?
Oh yeah, you know, this is actually maybe the one I liked the most.
Really interesting.
If we're going from a pure, like, plot perspective, just because this one has, like, the most going on as far as, like, a coherent, you know, this is an episode I could easily see being done, with slightly better execution in a later Kamen Rider, which I feel like could stand as, like, a backhanded compliment or whatever, and it's not meant to be, but it's, you know, this one had felt like it had a little bit of meat on the bones to kind of latch on to.
Mm.
In a way that some of the other ones, especially for my money, probably my second favorite episode of the set, Dream Girl Yuki, that didn't have shit on its bones.
Interesting.
You were grasping at air the whole time, and that was kind of the point. And I think it did a good job at, you know, because it's the dream episode. It's like the dream hallucination episode, so, like, you're not really supposed to be able to easily determine what's real and what's fake, but boy, does that make it hard to, like, give a shit about the plot. At least for me.
Well, returning to episode 28, what is it that you really liked about this episode, then?
So, one, you know, like I said, there were a little meat on the potatoes, on the bones. There was a little something to latch on to.
It's just Pokemon. They predicted Pokemon. One of the earliest thoughts of that thing, in this episode where people are coerced into getting bugs, including rare bugs, which they will spend so much money on, and then crime will increase, and then they might kill each other or whatever. That's the Golgum plot. we made fun in merchandise bugs, and chaos ensued. The thing about that, I just like immediately was like, man, if this was fast forwarded, like, what year is this? 89? 87? I can't remember anymore. 88. Okay.
You were
if we fast forwarded
in between the two things.
In between the two numbers, yeah. If we fast forwarded 9 years later, and this is Pokemon, I think Kentaro would be like, "Oh my god, it's Golgum."
The kids would be talking about the hot new video game on the market, and he'd be like, "Yo!"
Yeah, they got that. Yeah, yeah, for real. They're trading their cards. He's like, "This shit's suspicious."
Yeah, children don't like cards.
It's affecting people worldwide. What the fuck? Golgum's gone too far.
And they'd go back to the Golgum lair, and Sheev Palpatine would be like, we didn't even fucking do this.
They're just sitting on like the fucking easy chairs, like drinking soda, like, what? This is our day off.
What episode did I write it for? There was one of these episodes in this set where I was like, I think it was Burn Boy Warriors, actually. I was like, it'd be really funny if there was an episode where Kotaro was like thinking he was on the trail of a Golgum plot, and he ends up just finding like a normal serial killer.
That would be hysterical.
I so strongly desire, like, that's such a like postmodern Kamen Rider plot.
It's a good fanfic idea, if nothing else.
Yeah, unreasonable to expect of this era, but like, God, it would be so fun to explore. I wish they were.
Kuuga might have done it.
Kuuga might have done it.
Kuuga kind of almost did it.
Kuuga almost did it.
Yeah, they
just
that guy got an arc and a redemption.
Yusuke, instead of having Yusuke find the guy, it was Ichijo.
But yeah, the bugs. There's lots of really cool bugs, and
they make golden nests when they mate, and that's why everyone's after them. So they're very desperate for the rare female beetles.
And poor Satoru is just such a desperate pussy failure.
Oh my god. He is like 10, leave him alone. I am still like reeling from the intro of this episode. So it starts off with Satoru. He's like walking home with his friends at dark, and you can hear the thunder rolling in the back. It's going to start raining any second. And they catch sight of these beetles, and they're like, "Oh my god, Satoru, let's go!" And he's like, "Guys, I just kind of want to go home." And they're like, "Oh, you're such a coward."
Pussy.
And I'm like, "What?" He's tired. You've been out all day, presumably. It's gonna rain. Come on. And then he's going to school the next day, and all these boys are haranguing him every step of the way. And I was like, oh my god, Kotaro shows up because he's, I really enjoy his willingness to just like hop off his bike and help literally anybody. But these boys are just harassing him, and then suddenly a grown adult man runs up from behind them and starts yelling at Satoru. And I was like, is this his teacher? Is everyone bullying him? And I think Kotaro thought the same thing. He's like, what are you doing? Stop. And he's like, stop, I am this boy's father. You couldn't tell me how to teach my son.
Oh my god.
And his advice was like, you gotta beat their asses, kid.
Yeah, you gotta be tough and
Just
cool
like
and
me.
strong alpha male boy. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
My favorite thing about the dad being like this is he also looks like a dork-ass nerd who got bullied in school.
He's walking hard, though.
Bro
Oh my God.
stays hard.
You know what?
Bricked up.
You did, like, yeah, well, that guy, like, takes off his jacket and shirt, and he's just jacked. You know it.
Right. He works out when he's angry.
Yeah, everybody thinks he's a dweeb because he wears glasses, but, like, as soon as he just, like, as soon as he stances up, you are getting ripped apart like a gorilla.
If you've seen King of the Hill, he's that guy who mistakenly thinks Hank stole his wallet. He's exactly that character. But yeah, poor Satoru. He didn't deserve any of this. He is just a child. And when Kotaro's like, hey man, that sucked, and he was like, no, it's fine. It's because I'm a coward.
Yeah, he's like, my dad says I'm a fucking pussy, so he yells at me.
And he's right.
I know that has so little to do with the plot overall, but I'm still devastated about I don't know, 90 seconds of content
No,
at the beginning of
that's-
this
No,
episode.
that's so valid.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that don't really matter that have stuck with me, the very beginning of the episode, we introduce our beast. Like, we just roll right in. We just roll straight into Golgum Base. And I love, I fucking wrote his name down
Brigenia?
15 times, and Brigenia. Every time I have to say it, I forget it. Brigenia rolls up and is like, I have a great idea. Can I please use your funny dusty ass beetle?
Yeah, sure.
And no, their first response is, no, we love that guy, fuck you.
Yeah, no, fuck you. Use my dusty ass beetle. Fuck
And
you,
then-
Brigandia.
And then she's like, hold on, let him cook.
Yeah, oh my, that's literally my first note of the episode. Hold up, let him cook.
Yeah, he straight up is like, hold on, I want to see what he does.
God.
I was just yelling at all of Gorgum because they're like, what do you mean precious monsters? Since when have you ever cared of them?
They really like this guy.
They're like toys.
Yeah, this guy makes funny toys.
Speaking of Bilgenia and monsters, I feel like this is another, like, Black Cat is really the outlier in all of this generally. Scarab Monster is another example in the line of Bilgenia, like, standing up for monster rights. Like, while they're off doing their scheme, there's a point in time where some of the scarab bugs are, like, being killed, and Bilgenia is like, it must be very painful for you to see your precious little bug babies be killed, and I was like, oh.
I know, but hold on.
Comrade Brigandia.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
He knows what wheels to grease. I don't know if he actually cares, but I think he knows that they have feelings.
He knows how to,
and
yeah.
can manipulate them.
Maybe that's even sexier.
Fair.
Expected answer.
Yeah, that wasn't the word I was expecting you to use, but in hindsight, it stands to reason.
Unrelated note to anything, Satoru's father has very powerful triangular eyebrows, that's all.
Yeah.
True.
Perfectly triangular.
So going forward, I really want to take exception to Fats's notion that this episode has meat on it. I disagree. This episode feels like a fever dream as it goes on.
I agree.
I feel like reality is barely holding together in this one just to service the plot.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
That's not the point for this one. Like, okay. Alright, I know this is an 80s Japan thing more than anything, but it was truly the beginning of what made me feel so disconnected. Is that Kotaro just immediately, like, befriends this kid and is just like, well, I'll spend time with you alone at night in a creepy cemetery.
No adults ever have a problem with Kotaro hanging out with their children.
Listen, look at him. Look at his face. Look at his jacket. That is a man you can trust.
Yeah, it says Dr. Sports on it.
Yo, Dr. Sports?
It doesn't. I was gonna bring this up later, but it doesn't. It doesn't say that. But I thought it said that for like a brief second in a different episode. I was like, does that shit say Doctor Sports? No, it says Motorsports.
Good morning, how are you? I'm Dr. Sports.
It says Motorsports. But it's usually covered mostly up by his like open flap on the jacket. He always leaves one kind of hanging.
For the ladies.
Yeah. It would be so fucking based if he didn't wear a shirt under that jacket, so he just had like little titty, like just a little glimpse, little chest hair.
You gotta have a low-cut shirt. You don't want to be sweating into your jacket all the time. You'd have
That's
to wash
fair.
it so much, and that would be frustrating. Or, alternatively, just undo a couple buttons. You can keep everything.
It's true, yeah, you could just do it of the shirt. Anyways, I got I got a little distracted. But the other, so like, yeah, he spends time with this kid, and they get to see how everyone's going crazy about catching the bugs, which is one of the funniest fucking, like, they're all like, oh boy, heard this creepy thing, and it's like, oh, suddenly a million people.
Yeah, like they fucking stampede into the place.
And they're like, oh, this is suddenly less scary and more annoying. But, okay.
Oni-san, this sucks now.
Yes, for real.
Now that I think about it, when we watched Kuuga that there were a ton of things that felt like freaking Junji Ito manga plots. This kind of feels like one, but it would be a much slower burn if he were to handle it. I think you would really see society dissolve in whatever neighborhood this is occurring in.
Half an hour is definitely not long enough for a plot like this. But the other thing I meant to say is also he just immediately brings him to his house with no questions asked from anybody, and I understand they're a little distracted due to the bug corruption.
What a phrase.
It's just so funny. It's just like he just rolls up like he owns the place,
He might
even
as well.
if there wasn't corruption happening. He's just like, hey everybody, it's me, Kotaro.
Who?
I followed your son into his house.
Hey,
Listen, who give a shit?
Satoru, come here.
Satoru, what have I told you about Stranger Danger?
What?
Yeah, the
Oh
what?
shit, I didn't tell you about Stranger Danger. It's the 80s. Fuck. Oh, I fucked up.
We're still working on that.
What else is there to say? I learned a little bit more about entomology because of this episode. So, take my description with a grain of salt. I'm not an entomologist, I'm not a biologist, whatever. During the fight, when Kamen Rider Black gets sprayed by the scarab's, like, gold mist, he says the exact phrase, "It's inhibiting my Ripliform's cutaneous respiration," and I was like, okay, what? So I had to look up Ripliform is specifically the term that they use for his exoskeleton, that is entirely a made-up word. According to the Kamen Rider Fandom.com, it is described as having the hardness of a special ceramic and the elasticity of rubber, and even if it is hit directly by a large rock weighing 1 ton, it will not be damaged. This is very specific. Anyway, I did not know that grasshoppers cutaneously respire, which means that the gas exchange when they breathe occurs in their skin, rather than them having gills or lungs like we do. They have tiny openings along the lines of their bodies called spiracles that draw air through a number of tracheal tubes that diffuse oxygen into the inner tissues of their body and then release carbon dioxide back the way it came.
Wow.
That's cool.
And makes sense for how Kamen Rider is. That checks out, actually.
So it's neat to know that Kamen Rider Black does function more like a grasshopper than a man.
Thank you
He's
for
more
doing this.
grasshopper than man. I want to emphasize a basic fact about the plot, is that Satoru's dad spent 5 million yen on this bug and quit his job.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to me, the crazy thing is not that he spent 5 million yen on this bug, but where he got the money from. 5 million yen severance pay. You gotta be fucking shitting me.
The bubble, baby.
Yeah, I was like, that's how you know this shit's in the 80s.
I'm sincerely hoping that this is like such a widespread phenomenon that the moment all the bugs are gone,
Oh, I was gonna get
they're
to
all
that.
going to come to their senses and he's just going to be able to go back to work and they're just going to
Yeah,
pretend
right.
that didn't happen. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's gonna put their heads down and walk into the office and no one's gonna say anything.
We're hoping, because I was gonna save that for discussing that for the ending, because as far as the show concerned, last we saw, they were anguishing that their money-making scheme is gone, and we never see them again.
We do not check on them again.
We ride off in the sunset to go get fucking Denny's, and we cut to credits when this episode's over. It's so funny.
It's so funny. I hope that Satoru can move on with his life now that he's witnessed this dark nature within his parents.
Yeah, right?
I hope Satoru isn't homeless.
That too. I forgot one important thing. Right, like during the fight, right before, as he's getting sprayed with the gold spray by the scarab, before he says that line about his cutaneous respiration, Bulgenia looks at him and says he looks beautiful, and that was cool. I think it's neat. Wouldn't you love to have a mortal enemy to tell you how beautiful you look as you fall prey to an attack?
Honestly, Yes.
This dude wants Kamen Rider so bad it makes him look stupid.
Yeah,
It's
really.
so true.
It is an actual ongoing plot point as these episodes go on that this
He's
dude
mine.
only wants to kill Kamen Rider and he doesn't give a fuck about anything.
The next episode is the one where he like full on just like fucks over the plan so
Yeah.
he can be the guy to kill Kamen Rider.
It's so good. I love this character. I love Bulgaria. Things are fun when he's
Yeah.
around.
It
That's
is
so fair.
genuinely.
It's very
I-
sexy of him.
Yeah.
When we first see him in this episode, well, after post-plan, when we see him in the midway, in his disguise as mustache man who made millions of dollars selling Pokemon cards.
With his fucking
Mhm.
his drawn on mustache. I love that shit. He looks like
And
a
he gets-
fucking
So good.
6-year-old playing grown up.
He gets interviewed by a really cute reporter. Just wanted to point that out. She's so cute. I
Well,
have
you
nothing
cute
else of
reporter.
substance.
Cute reporter saved me.
She's like so like it's such a like pristine 80s look. Like it is so distinctly of its time. She is
My
beautiful.
kingdom for cute 80s reporter girl.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't look away.
I genuinely did not notice any levels of cuteness that this girl had. And
Damn!
I apologize.
Wow.
Listen, it was late. I was tired, and I
That's
was
fair.
literally only watching the episodes because I had to.
That's fair. But when so it's so funny because Kotaro shows up and he's like sees him in the crowd of reporters and just goes and starts running immediately into the woods without
Fucking
a second word.
books it.
He just starts running straight to the forest. And I thought there's a part, it zooms in and he's rubbing the mustache. I thought he was just gonna straight rip that thing off.
Same.
I'm so disappointed. that he's gonna rip it off and that just cuts into him being Brigadia somehow. It was all the mustache. Oh yeah, someone throws a bucket at Kotaro at some point. That was
It's
pretty
so
awesome.
funny. He's literally breaking into people's houses to kill the bugs, and they're not happy about
His
it.
incredible genius plan of breaking and entering as the world is already at this point descended into a level where people are murdering each other over these bugs. At least one case. I don't know if you're gonna put that in the death count, but there's at least one case of someone dying in this episode.
No, I watched the clip. They took the bug, they did not harm her, and they ran away. There's a news report that says murders, plural, and unfortunately, Listen, I'm not happy about it, but with the information given to me, it's basically like seeing a building blown up. I have no number to take from it.
That's so fair.
I was gonna say at least like one.
I don't speculate on the numbers because that's been our rules thus far.
I appreciate you sticking to your principles, sir.
It's less about principles and more about consistency. We are halfway through the series, so
Fucked up.
yeah.
God, what else? Yeah. I feel like this is supposed to be part of his grand play in the end, but it really just comes across like he is like just a complete idiot jock who has one idea and then goes to Satoru and is just like, man, this is hard. I don't know how to change people's minds.
I
And he
find it
just-
very endearing.
So it's Blair Witched it by the trees.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Fucking. You can hear
Godspeed.
the Berserk Guts theme playing.
Everyone is so mean to me.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that he's not a super genius. I feel like
Or apparently he is. I don't know.
I don't.
He's
I
at
don't know,
least
he
not
just-
an idiot.
He definitely always knows when it's a Golgum plot because I think he just suspects everything is a Golgum plot. And I'd like to believe that, like, 2 out of 7 days of the week he is, on wild goose chases.
Yeah.
You fucking offer him 2-for-1 hot dogs at the hot dog cart, and he's like, "It must be a Golden plot." Do not take Kotaro to a fucking Costco. He will lose his shit.
Oh my god. What value? It's a Golgum plot. It's all poisoned.
150 for a hot dog. Yeah. Like, they're never changing it. That price is never going up? It's a fucking plot.
Plot for the people.
Yeah, watch out, Kotaro. There's a whole thing called communism. You better please. I don't know. I hope he doesn't go go ham on fighting communism. That would be unfortunate.
It'd be in character for the time, but yeah, unfortunate.
Perhaps.
He's friends with a CIA agent, isn't he?
That guy was Interpol.
Oh, okay, right. He's not actually CIA.
That's different, sort of. This fight's funny, especially as it starts out. I'm not owned. It was a trap. I'm not owned.
Well, hold on. To be in defense of Kotaro's, I'm not owned. He, for like 5 seconds, he seems to have given up on the people of Earth, and then Bergenia immediately shows up, and I'm like,
it really did
hey,
not take much.
Don't you think you pulled the trigger on this one a little early, my man? Like,
No.
are you sure you don't want to let him wallow in that shit a little bit? And then sure enough, Kotaro's like, I tricked you, dumbass. I'll never give up on the people. And I was like, I warned you.
It's all I do. It's all I do is the people. No, he is the communist hero. Never mind.
Yeah,
He would never.
Yeah, that's true. He would not, yeah. Bro's been reading Marx. What are you talking about?
So I have a question. Didn't Road Sector fucking die?
Right.
Don't worry about
it. That was some other guy.
Yeah.
Man, that man shouted Road Sector, and I said, huh? like a Steve Harvey, like, fucking Family Feud clip. Like, what? Didn't you, like, how does Bergenia not, like, didn't I kill that bike?
Did he kill that bike? I don't remember him.
He killed the
that
bike to kill his bike.
Oh, that's right.
The super mega explosion when the bikes collided.
That was 2 mushroom clouds of bike
Yeah.
explosions.
I guess it was fine. I don't know.
One thing about Road Sector is that it's built different.
Guess so.
Yeah. Wait, did we see Road Sector in any of the other episodes
Yes.
today?
Almost all of them.
Okay, I thought we did, but I was just suddenly not trusting myself.
Yeah, no, he kept coming back, and because this episode I was like, oh, maybe they filmed them out of order and forgot, you know? And then 4 more episodes of Road Sector swooping in every fight.
It's fine. He's fine, I guess.
Some
Don't worry
cases,
about
Road
it.
Sector and Battle Hopper being in the same room. Like, we actually didn't want to give up on Road Sector after all. Don't worry about it. Evil Road Sector's
fine.
dead forever.
Yeah, it's fine now. Don't worry about it. Anything else for this episode?
The debut of the new Power Rider Uno Reverso.
I'm sorry?
He starts grabbing the sword. and he starts beaming at him, and he's like, "Ha! No!" It just goes back. I don't know what power that was, but good job. Like,
I guess the Kingstone.
yeah,
This
maybe.
is a kid's show to sell a toy in the 80s. You know they'd just be giving those motherfuckers abilities to have for an episode.
That new power goes into what Shakes had mentioned a bit, where she said that this has like no grip on reality.
A little bit.
Because like we've
Don't worry about it.
in the past 10-15 minutes you might have been like, hey, didn't you just kind of gloss over that he started breaking into people's houses? Like, yes, the episode did too. Like, he just shows up, he just does things, he just is there. There's no interconnecting threads that actually connect scenes together.
Herein lieth the rub, though, dear Hamlet, is that's the whole rest of the show, too.
Nah.
He is, like, constantly just, like, showing up to shit.
You are not wrong, but I am saying relative to the rest of the show, it is still like that. It was to such a degree that I'm like, okay, who wrote this? How many episodes?
Minami Kotaro. wanted criminal.
How many episodes did this person write in Kamen Rider Black?
How many?
Did you find the answers you were looking for?
I didn't know I wanted these answers. He wrote 1 episode for Kamen Rider Black and was the main
Episode 28 only.
and was the main series writer for Kamen Rider Kuuga.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
sure,
Well,
okay.
he's honed his craft in 13 years. Also, maybe he just didn't really. If he was only there for 1 episode, I'm not entirely
Yeah.
certain why he was there. He might have just been like filling in or something for another writer, and he just didn't really know the vibe of the show or something.
It's something kind of crazy because like there's so much good connective tissue within Kuuga, and then there's just for the 1 episode in Black that he writes, it's nothing. It's just so fun.
Too many cooks situation, perhaps. If you have one person establish everything, they're pretty clear on the foundation, I imagine. There's no other writers credited on the fandom page for this episode, but I wouldn't know if they're missing information.
The thing you gotta understand is love and peace forever.
Yeah, listen.
You're dealing with Black Lightning. Exploding with justice. Exploding with justice. That song whipped so much ass, I forgot about everything else in the episode at the time.
So fair.
The song has done its job.
Yeah, it was like, oh, fuck yeah. Exploded with justice. It's Kamen Rider Black. Time to die for peace and
Yo,
love and
who up
peace.
exploding with justice?
Sometimes.
Oh my.
Congratulations.
Don't congratulate me.
I don't know what to say in that context.
B, I will always congratulate my homies for exploding with justice. Good job,
No.
brother.
Oh god. Episode 29? Is it time for episode 29?
Yeah, I think so. I kind of bit at Virginia almost dying. I almost thought they were gonna do it. I fell for it.
I'm so glad they didn't.
They can't kill him off this early.
Look.
It's interesting to see the growth.
Stranger things have happened in early Kamen Rider.
That's so true.
We've killed generals quicker and less ceremoniously before.
The looks at fucking Zod, or whatever
Yeah,
his name was,
Zol.
General, with his
General
horrible
Zod, yeah.
desk.
With his Hot Wheels desk. I miss the Hot
Yeah.
Wheels desk. Bring it
Oh,
back.
you can't write on that desk. It was evil. I truly
I
believe
want
in my heart of
MF
hearts.
Doom to have a Hot Wheels desk that he draws little monsters on, and then fucking Rita Repulsa Zoo Ranger style, he puts the drawing in the machine, and then it makes a big version of the monster. That's what I want. I've decided.
That
Like a
would be
reverse
cute.
Shrinky Dink.
Yeah, a growy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen, just run me over. It's fine.
Speaking of running things over, episode 29
Yeah.
basically begins with an armadillo getting hit by a car, which is a very common scene if you live around where King Vats and I do. My first note of the episode reads, "Armadillo monster born from the rage of 1,000 roadkill armadillos."
True.
It was a very long time, and I mean this sincerely, it was a very long time before I ever saw a live armadillo.
Oh no.
That's, to be fair, I don't think I have seen one that isn't on a YouTube video or in a zoo. I can't think of one I've seen just out and about.
Oh, well, I don't think I have either in that case. But they do have one at our local aquarium. He's really
That
cute,
sounds
and he likes
alright.
blueberries, and they'll let you
Aw.
feed him. And he does this weird thing where he digs into your shoes.
Oh,
Hey, I'm wearing this.
little cute guy. Little
He'll
curious
he'll
man.
go at it. You gotta shove him away or distract him with a blueberry.
Also, shoutouts to B and I going in two very different directions with the reveal of our monster character. B making a real life reference to the state we live in, and me, of course, the fuck ass nerd that I am, saying, "Hell yeah, man, I love Mega Man X."
I just thought he was kind of when they introduced him, he's just kind of standing in a tunnel, and he looks like his car broke down. And he's trying to wave down a ride. Like, hey, help!
Like a real armadillo.
And then he boo-boo wheels at you and you're fucking dead.
True. The fucking rider wheel makes its triumphant return in Kamen Rider Black as a weapon of the enemy. You hate to see it.
Oh, also, we got scientists who are going to train with NASA. That's vaguely important, I guess. I don't know.
It's very important. It's the main thrust of our plot, because you see this armadillo monster. He has the... Don't say this thing. Don't say this thing. You
Say
missed
it.
that
Say it.
off.
Now you have to say it. It's your
He had
podcast.
yeah, listen, alright, we gotta fucking acknowledge the armadillo in the room. This man is full on blasting these people with jizz.
Yeah. Maybe
I don't know
that.
why they decided they wanted his power to be represented by a viscous,
Do you
thick,
see
white
his
foam.
nose?
The nose is not helping in the slightest. Bro is shooting that goo.
It's ratchet.
So
Absolutely
So what
fucking
I'm-
skeeting ropes.
So what I mean when I say that the whole NASA thing is not really important is because they don't really have an end game. They're just like, ooh, wouldn't it be awful if we just sent fake ass people up there? We're like, wouldn't that be crazy?
They have an end game, B-Drops. They have a very
What was
clear end game.
Did I forget something?
It's the hit game of the year 2020, Among Us. That's their end game,
Okay, well,
is Amorgus Imposter Sus.
but it doesn't work when literally everyone there is well, I guess maybe there's going to be American astronauts, but I was assuming this was a team.
Theoretically, this is just a team of people from Japan who are going to get to go up on the station, and there are already other normal astronauts up there.
Okay, and then what? You kill them, and then you float in space? Are you going to crash the shuttle?
I think so.
Yeah, so chaos. I don't know.
I want to know what their plan is.
Listen, you were asking Golgum to do a lot of like forward thinking that is not traditional for them, and I'm gonna need you to like reel it back.
That's their problem, is the thing. They're trying to conquer the Earth.
But what about space?
They probably should get it together a little bit.
You make an unfortunately excellent point.
Even though I love their terrible, half-baked plans. I love their gooey, uncooked centers. But this one is really funny. It's so funny. Like, there's a lot of ones like, we went over the mushroom soup in the last episode. They just want to make like a bunch of like delinquents, a bunch of hooligans, and unleash them into society to cause a ruckus, like a general nuisance. It's not like a great plan, but at least it's like a thorough plan. Whereas, like, I don't know what their end game is here. They have imposters in space, and they're like, "Ooh, wouldn't that be scary?" Like, I don't know. Maybe what are they doing? What's their goal? What are they trying to achieve up there?
I mean, like, yeah, I guess it would require the writers to, like, maybe understand what they do up there. But I think they are just understanding that they're doing important things in space, and we're gonna send imposters up there to mess with that, subvert it, steal it, whatever's going on up there. We're gonna do something about it. What's important is that we don't. It's for the hero's sake.
With plans like these, you want to keep them loose, because, like, yeah, depending, you want to be able to pivot depending on what it is they are doing up there.
Are you defending them?
A little bit.
A little bit. Listen, I have to play.
Okay.
I have to play devil's advocate if for no one other than MF Doom. I gotta at least say I went to bat for my boy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm clearly outnumbered here.
B, you make an insanely fair point. Yeah, this is fully a nothing plan.
My one thing is, I think that they are almost to a plan. They have all the pieces for it. They just never like think about it where they could actually execute on it. Because like, oh, having 6 of the first, like, Japanese astronauts or whatever being replaced with murderers, that's gonna be an international incident. And they just never really bring it up because they didn't think about it, and they just think it's, to go back to V's thing, it's just, isn't that scary? Isn't it spooky?
Well, maybe they did think about it and they just didn't say it. You don't know the inner workings of Golgum.
Alright, but here's the thing.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
That's fair.
Well, to be fair, they're waiting for the inner workings of Golgum to hatch. He's still
Listen.
spinning in that fuck-ass pod.
I'm waiting for you, Nobuhiko. It has been 30 episodes.
Wake your ass up, dog. We're 32 episodes
Hey,
in. Get the
hey,
one out.
Hey, guess what? We get to see him spinning today, at least. This is the episode. This is the episode where we get to rotate him, and it's officially the first episode where we learn who the fuck Katsumi
Yes,
is.
that's right. Yes. It took us
Finally,
this long,
yeah.
but we finally figured out who the fuck she is.
Which they capture and go, hey, wait a minute. That's this motherfucker's girlfriend. Hey, how'd we get her?
Official confirmation.
It's
wow,
crazy.
Incredible.
It's I don't know, man. Like we looked that up episode 1 because we were so confused. I would just
Episode
love to imagine a
1.
world where we asked every podcast episode, who is this bitch?
woman? Yo, AOP.
Who are
Now they
you?
got this woman cooking.
We all love our friend Katsumi, whoever she is. Why is she here? I don't know. Wait, I would have probably just been thinking, oh, that's another sister. They're both his sister.
Like I said in the first episode, would have spent 29 fucking episodes being like, wow, they're really close with their mom.
Yeah, right? Like, it would have been either mom or sister. I don't know. Over time, I probably would have realized at the very least that she is young enough to more likely be sister.
I guess
Literally,
that's
no
fair.
one calls her mom either. So
Yeah, like no one would
ever
have.
calls her a Kasan. Yeah,
That would have been. Yeah, that would have been pretty apparent.
also the way she addresses people is pretty formal. So like, it'd be weird to call your children son. Maybe.
She's just our good buddy Katsumi. She's
Yeah,
she's
I don't know.
in
She just lives
college
here.
for something, but
For something, I don't know. She knows.
she's in college for plot
one
relevance.
of the. Yeah,
it's
she knows
got
one
her
of
in some
the
situations.
NASA trainees, and this is one of those situations. She gets kidnapped.
Oops, because we do the whole imposter bit because it's like, oh man, we learn, we get the dramatic tension of, oh man, she's friends with Katsumi, our good friend of the show, and now she's talking to an imposter, but she has all her memories because that's what the armadillo jizz does. Is apparently it just like makes a copy of your entire soul.
I don't know what the link there is, if there's some sort of armadillo folklore that I've never heard in my life. I don't know why that's his power,
It
but
makes no
okay.
goddamn sense. It's so funny how arbitrary. Look, wait till you see what they gave the hedgehog. Like,
Ugh.
it's
True.
crazy. But yeah, we get this brief moment of that dramatic tension, and they decide to pull the trigger immediately on revealing it in the craziest way possible. I feel like as an errant pitch goes through a phone booth and sends glass into her neck like it's a Final Destination death.
It was kind of gnarly. It was a big shard. And then they have her pull it out and be
Yeah.
like, "What's wrong, Katsumi?"
That was
And
raw
she's
as
like,
fuck.
"Oh my god!"
Immediate danger sense goes off. Katsumi just runs into the woods immediately.
Good sense for her. Because after she gets kidnapped and she finds her friend Kimie, if I recall correctly, her name was Kimie. And the first thing she does is check her neck, and she's like, "Oh, this one doesn't have the wound. This one must be the real one," which is nice to give a brain cell to the women in this show. I feel like that's not something we historically had, at least in Kamen Rider Ichigo.
True.
That's fair.
It's nice to have girls that are A, vaguely plot relevant, B, somewhat explained, and C, of any intelligence.
Thankfully, we have all 3 in Katsumi now, as of this episode.
She's learned
Vaguely explained.
and also, yeah, related to a character.
We know why she's here, and it's stated explicitly.
Finally.
It took us 29 episodes to figure it out, but hey, I'll take that over nothing.
I like their fun little escape. Kimie, like, opens the door to, like, scope out the area and does this, like, sick lean. I don't know. It made me laugh. Just, like, she was, like, so into it. Like, leaning into the door, like, and, like, propping herself so she could, like, shoot back and close it, I guess, if she needed to. It was real spy shit. It's cool. And then we get Brigannia's classic pranks.
Yeah, Brigannia's standard bullshit.
It
I
was
would love to
straight
see
up.
it.
It was straight up a prank this time. He calls. He has them call, or sorry, spoilers. He has them call him
Spoiler.
Oh, that's right,
Kotaro,
yeah.
and he meets them at the park, and they aren't there, and there's a funny phone booth, and it starts ringing, and Kotaro's like, well, I better go answer it. And Brigannia's like, hey, motherfucker, is your refrigerator running? Haha, also, you're trapped in a phone booth now. Watch me torture these women.
True.
So funny.
I love him. Oh my god. He's such a wacky rival.
He's
Yeah.
talking on the phone, and then he looks at the thing, and he does not have a phone anymore. I was really hoping he'd just be holding a big-ass 80s cell phone. Look outside, Kotaro. You fucking moron. I'll kill you.
I'm riding the wave of the future, Kotaro, you bitch. The modern businessman, Brigannia.
He did don the business suit that one time. He looked astonishingly normal.
Yeah, he did look I'm pretty sure that's why we painted his face white.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I want him to be astonishingly normal with the face paint. Like, just put him back in
Yeah.
the suit, but he is still wearing the face paint.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Bilgenia's prank gets messed up by Armadillo Monster, who got sicked on them after the Golgum Priest squad saw Bilgenia was up to nonsense.
Say what you want about Armadillo Monster. That man is a consummate professional. He wants to commit to the plan.
He really is.
He wants to
Yeah.
get these mannequins into space for reasons.
for
reasons.
for sus reasons.
He's-
Who knows?
He doesn't know either. He just
he
wants to commit.
wants to
That's a
watch
soldier.
an astronaut vent. God damn it.
That's a real soldier. He doesn't ask questions. He just does. He just acts. And I think that's admirable.
Dude, stop fucking this up. This is my project.
Girl, stop!
Bro,
Really get a
I
good
was-
grade.
They said I could do this one. I want to do it good. Come on. I got the weird just makes people into mannequins. It's my only thing. It's all I got going for me.
That's a rough thing to have going for you, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'll get turned into a better monster if I do a good job.
Maybe you should do your weird transformation jizz thing with your own soul.
And and make 2 armadillo monsters? Yeah, that'll
Now
fix the
neither of
situation.
us will be virgins.
Exactly. You'll get so much accomplished.
Oh my god.
Horrible. Anyway, Road Sector appears, and Kotaro just leaves.
Yeah, he fucks promptly off.
Oh, I love that part because it's like, wow, a self-driving bike, and then that motherfucker the stunt driver flicks the throttle, and you can see the fucking hand for like a couple frames.
That's funny.
You can catch
very
that shit in
funny.
4K. Blu-ray was never meant to see Kamen Rider Black.
These episodes were meant to be watched on a screen a fourth the size of our computer monitors once. You were never supposed to see these episodes more than the one time they aired that weekend.
Yeah, it's like I it was mostly hid like, man, it's just like he had to do something or he would probably have like fucked up and wiped out. Like he had to like but for those 3 frames, just fingers splayed out from the handle. It was what's his name? It's that sexy robot driving the car.
Oh.
I forgot that guy's name
Test
already.
ride.
Testroid.
Yeah, Test
Yeah.
Droid.
I miss him already.
Yeah,
God.
me too, a little bit.
That was my whole reason for liking that episode.
No, that's understandable.
Speaking of things last podcast episode, when they're doing the montage of because they have to get literal mannequins to transfer the souls into, so they roll up these guys that vaguely look kind of like the people that they're turning into.
So Katsumi got put in the hospital.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then she do an attack.
Yeah, we get the big reveal that because we get it's a fun doling out of information because Kotaro goes to the where the rest of the guys were supposedly being held, but no, they are all in fact the evil ones. And we get the when office men attack, they get that length of pipe and start going to town on him. But yes, we get that simultaneously with Katsumi waking up in the hospital and hitting him with the fucking the world's end maneuver, just grabbing Goozle and grabbing her by the neck and just slamming her around.
And that's when we find out the thing that was making our see, I wrote her name down as Kyrie because that's what I thought it was when I was writing it down at the time, but my understanding is that's wrong. What is it again?
It's Kimie.
Kimie, that's it. M, not R. Yeah, we find out the thing that let our Kimie fool our heroes is we just kind of covered up the big gaping wound in her neck.
Yeah, we have a great makeup staff actually. Yeah, we have Kimie, Katsumi, and Kyoko in the same room.
Fuck.
I was really holding out. This is me having more unrealistic expectations for a Kamen Rider.
What? No way. That's why I have a character for you.
Yeah, it's time for everyone's favorite recurring segment. Me wishing women did more. Once again, I think, as I said before, in another show. Actually, did we say that on camera? Where we were talking about Kotaro tracking a serial killer? Was that actually in the
Yes,
podcast? Okay,
that was this episode.
I've lost all memory. In a different show, in maybe a postmodern style show of any kind, really, and not an 80s children's show, I think this would be the episode where Katsumi is forced to kill somebody, even if it's just a mannequin, is forced to fight for her life and win and never be the same. I really wanted her to kill the clone of her friend, the friend of her clone.
That would be good. It would also become like a sympathizing point for her later when she gets to have dialogue with her super brainwashed, super powered cyborg boyfriend. Because they're definitely going to involve her, right? When he gets released, like she's going to be a part of that, right?
Better.
Yeah, what the fuck is she doing?
As long as they
If
kept
she
her
isn't-
around, yeah. Like if they don't do anything with her, it's like, bitch, why are you here? Go home.
And why didn't you say he was your boyfriend episode 1?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, in her defense, I guess she didn't really say much of anything episode 1.
The dialogue is a bit, like, too natural in a way that really made it hard for us to pick up on anything.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, there was nothing... And, yeah, like, normal people wouldn't be just saying shit like that all the time. But, man, like, you would have thought... Like, everything else in this show, I think, has been pretty good about conveying information and who people are and what they're doing. Because, you know, you only have 30 minutes, generally. So they got that pretty down to a science since Ichigo. And that was, like, that's the weirdest oversight of Black so far, is just that they just had this character hanging out for 29 weeks of television. That's a lot of months. that's like half a year of television. And they didn't think to say in episode 1 or in many narration recaps that Katsumi is Nobuhiko's girlfriend. Like Kotaro couldn't have said that. Like, I know it's hard, with your boyfriend missing.
I would have thought, like, an easy way to slip it in was when she and Kyoko first came home, and only Kotaro had arrived just before them, and he's just like kind of brooding by himself. And when she asks where he is, she could slip in like any random line about like, we have a date in like a half hour. I thought he'd be here. Something like that.
Anything to signify.
Or alternatively, there's that episode where like we get introduced to the Gulgum plot by that one girl's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Getting, the Gulgumeth episode would have been a perfect time to build a little bit of character for her. Have her be like, listen, I know what you're going through. My boyfriend also had something happen to him because of Gulgum, but Kamen Rider is gonna help save the day or whatever.
Or, third thing, there was a flashback that involved these dudes going to a cool party. Where was his girlfriend?
I think she's at it.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess she was there. They could have put a little focus on that for like 5 seconds. Right?
5 seconds.
5 seconds of them, like, being nice and close, holding their close, heading to the swanky party. They were on a fun boat, and we didn't get any hints of that. But yeah, we needed to do grasshoppers.
We needed to do grasshoppers, and actress Chan fucks up big time.
Yeah.
Sorry, lady.
She was very bad at the whole secret cult thing.
You'd think for an actress.
Yeah, right?
Cinema Scenes thing. Anyway.
Claims to be an actress, can't lie. I hope they got fired for that blunder.
Kinda.
Fuck.
Anyways, Katsumi didn't get to kill somebody, and I'm sad.
I'm sure hopefully once we get into more modern Kamen Rider, you will have your dreams fulfilled in some way, shape, or form, Shakes.
Of women moments?
Well, yeah, for sure.
Probably at some point, but I also have healthy amounts of doubt. I'm sure I'll forget those doubts as soon as a woman almost does something.
True. Listen, there are Kamen Riders of the modern day where women do things.
Sounds like bliss. Oh, I just remembered the Looney Tunes sipping bullet noise.
Yeah? Oh, I must have blanked on that. No, yeah.
When the armadillo jumps into an entirely different set and Kotaro follows him in the cave set prison.
Oh,
right! And he starts swanging him into walls, and he grabs
It's
him
so
and
good.
swings him, and it goes pew! like a straight up Hanna-Barbera cartoon where they go charge up the run. It's that exact sound that would follow that you, the audience, or whoever's listening, can picture that right now, right? It's that sound.
God, that's right.
They use like every inch of that reel containing those sound effects. So they just keep playing. It's like a bullet noise. Like that's what it's supposed to be. The first one is very kind of clear and doesn't convey the bullet as much, which I think made it more long lasting. But the rest of them you can hear like that. You can hear that like classic ricochet sound in them. It's like, I don't know why this was the time that Kamen Rider swanging a dude made this noise.
It's because this is the time when they had the reel.
Yeah. It was a really fast swing. He was got some mustard on that shit.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, I'm gonna fuck up this armadillo. I do want to just give a quick notice of like, hey, good job, cool effect for this fight. Because they have this ongoing effect that they do where Kotaro will like attack the imposters and they'll have their mannequin bits fall off.
That shit was so cool.
Yeah.
It was very good. Extra shout out to the scene where the guy in the blue suit gets knocked in half. And so they shoot it so that like his bottom half is being covered and is out of frame, and they put like a fake mannequin back half in frame like right next to him.
That was so perfect. It was so perfectly executed. I was just like I like actually clapped and cheered when I saw it. I was like, yeah, good effects. Oh, he's in pieces. It was gonna help him.
Poor man, he's falling apart over me.
They did so many fun things. Like, they love the reverse footage.
They do
in this show in general, but also for this one especially was they would just have them drop pieces and then reverse the footage and have them reform, and it works. It's so simple and works so well because they had this great like wide shot of all of them doing it at once, while Kotaro's sitting in the center of it, and he's like, "Oh shit!" As they all reform around him.
Fellas, what are you gonna do when the op reforms around you?
Oh man, I guess keep punching them until they stop doing it.
Yeah, that's the hope.
That kind of ended up being the solution.
Listen, when you're Kamen Rider, there comes a certain point in time where the solution kind of always ends up just being, I'm just gonna keep punching it. I don't know. I don't remember if there was anything else left to say about this particular episode.
I know I've mentioned this before, but they really need to stop, like, putting the monsters that are responsible for the plan on the front lines.
It felt like at a certain point they just kind of gave up on it. I mean, they were like, well, you're not gonna stop it until you kill Armadillo Man. Like, it didn't feel like a taunt. It felt like, well, go just kill him and get this over with.
Like, well, yeah, but they did that with the gold bugs as well.
Listen, we do not have enough Golgameth to have a back line.
We don't have any funny little grunts. We really could
Yeah,
use some, honestly.
we have no fucking buddies.
You don't even, like, need a front line. Imagine how successful that bug plan would have been if you just left the guy just out of the way of Kamen Rider.
Well, see, for that one, you got to turn to Borgania.
It's true.
In theory, there's a couple things. Brigania, if he was cooperative in any way, shape, or form, would be the perfect distraction from every single one of these plans. But the plot contrivance of Brigania is that he's not.
Is fuck you, I hate the priests.
He really hates them. It's very funny. Like, I'm not gonna actually complain about that, like it's some big plot hole, but it's like, yeah, that's his function in this story. And luckily, it's very funny. But, like, yeah, I guess if you didn't want to even think about Brigania, it's just like, why aren't we playing buddy system with the monsters and, like, one is just always haranguing Kamen Rider? Well, because the others always do some weird subterfuge bit. And, like, yeah, the idea is Kamen Rider has lots of cool super senses and would probably hunt down the perpetrator if he just kept trying to hide. That's, I guess, what I'm supposed to understand is the foregone conclusion of their existence and why they fight. But yeah, that's why you have that dude playing his funny bug scheme, and then you have like a rhino attack him for a while.
Right?
Yeah, reasonably, that does seem like a thing that we should be able to do. Well and truly, my only assumption for why that is not the case is we had a whole episode about how we need to have enough Golgameth to be able to feed all of our monsters, and we don't, so we're putting them all on ice.
It's true. There was a lot of and we haven't seen Batman since.
Like, the plot does at least have a written-in excuse for why we keep doing one-on-one combat with this guy who has yet to fail at murdering one of our monsters.
Yeah, you gotta risk that cost, which I think they should, but I also, I guess, shouldn't give advice to the villains in a 40-year-old kids cartoon. Not cartoon.
This is basically a cartoon.
It's a live action cartoon, really. It's like the Marx Brothers.
Is that all for episode 29 then?
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah.
Then it's time to move to the beautiful state of Hawaii.
Yeah!
Hawaii.
For like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We will not be speaking English in Hawaii.
We'll be speaking English somewhere else. But
True.
I was really hoping this would be a fun vacation episode. because I love when when heroes just truly cannot catch a fucking break. I'm just like, man, it's so great to be in Hawaii for a couple days and not worry about anything. Haha, Golgum's here. Fuck.
My two varieties that I love is heroes not being able to catch a break and heroes not being capable of taking a break when they have it.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is neither of those things, unfortunately.
And it could have also been the fun secret third thing of Golgum also going on vacation.
Oh, that's... Okay, that is the best.
And then they see each other across the beach and decide to make trouble.
Volleyball match. Yeah.
Yeah, with a bunch of monsters.
Oh, that would have been so fun.
That would have been a fun episode.
In a better world, in yet another postmodern tokusatsu that is probably not directly Kamen Rider, but is a clear parody of it.
$6,000 on the Patreon, and we will animate our fan Kamen Rider episode. Kamen Rider Goes to the Beach.
6,000? That's
How
it?
many? 6,000? That's way too low.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Try
I mean,
60.
No.
I guess if we're
No,
doing
no.
a full length episode,
Listen, 6,000 will let us do it as an actual tokusatsu.
you make an excellent
That'll
point,
pay for the
actually.
costumes and the explosions. Then we just guerrilla film it.
Yeah, we could find an empty beach.
Go there on a cloudy day, like Pie Ranger did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up. Also, what if we just make a new pirate?
Pie Ranger 2.
I don't think it'd be that hard.
That'd be we wouldn't even need. You can give me $20 and I'll figure that one out.
Yeah, that's so easy.
Buy me lunch. I'll have that on your desk tomorrow morning.
I was gonna say most of the money would be spent just saying, "Hey, can you help me do this, hot woman, please? Like, I need to pay you for your time or else this will be a nightmare."
True.
I swear we probably know enough people that would be willing to do it.
Yeah.
Not locally.
No, but the
You
travel.
gotta pay for their airfare at that point.
Yeah, that's the like
I
90%
either
of
have
the
to
budget.
come, I have to run an audition. I'm in SoCal. There's plenty of hot women, but they're gonna want to be paid,
True.
or we're gonna have to fly some people out.
And it's cheaper to fly people out than it is to pay industry standard rates.
I was gonna say it'd probably be cheaper to fly people out.
Yeah, $6,000 on the Patreon. We'll get it. We'll get it done.
We'll do a making up documentary.
Yeah, it's just it's just everything. We don't edit it. It's just all raw footage of us making it.
Avant-garde
Man,
is what we'll say was the reason for that.
yeah,
I'm with it.
that's
yeah.
well, it's like the Beatles. Let it be. So-
And they'll show the documentary at Sundance, but not the film.
yes, correct.
They'll be like, "Oh, this Pie Ranger thing? Yeah, it fucking sucks. This documentary, though."
16 hours of brilliance. Fascinating. I was riveted.
Yeah.
End product? Garbage.
Garbage.
Trash. Shit.
That was our goal. Thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
We also need to find a shitty apartment that looks like people died in it.
Oh, man.
And will die again.
I've got some great news about where I live.
Yeah, if we go... Well, we need beaches, motherfuckers. That's not gonna work.
We're like an hour from the beach, 2 hours, something like that. We're close enough.
Just fly people out here. We can use.
We
I've
need
got
good beaches.
We have good beaches.
I've been... No, I'm talking to Nana now. I've been to your beach.
Okay.
Which that was not.
Bro,
you
I
haven't
went to
been
your
a
beach and
good
that shit
beach
stank.
Is the thing that beach that you have been to, that one sucks.
I believe it. Well, it was also terrible weather for the beach.
That too.
But I assume that's not an irregular weather pattern.
No, you got it. There's another beach that's like really nice and flat, got the giant waves and stuff. Go there on a rainy day. Perfect for filming.
Yeah, I guess. You know what? You're right. We didn't want a good condition anyways because we need room to film.
You know, this is true. $6,000 on the Patreon.
Yeah, we'll make it happen somehow. Something will happen if you give us some money.
Anyway, this should tell you just how important episode 30 is.
There's a lady with a mysterious power.
Yeah,
Called
girl.
Lana.
Damn, girl. That power looking hella mysterious. What's your pronouns?
She got the anti-plague of locust powers.
Yeah, what? She makes locusts happen and then they all blow up.
I would like to point out, and I'm only pointing out because Ishinomori pointed this out in the behind the scenes that we discussed in the first episode. These are not actually locusts, these are grasshoppers. They have not gone through their metamorphosis to go into like their communal phase where they become like black and yellow. So these are just grasshoppers.
And then they
Which
blow
is
up.
basically the intention. Yeah. The point was they summoned a bunch to test her powers. She killed them all because apparently it's a family power that they got at some point when their village was beset by a plague of locusts, and she just has the ability to just obliterate insects en masse with her brain, so...
I didn't remember that they explained that.
They've thoroughly explained it.
I think
For whatever
I
reason,
think
it's so out of character for this show, right?
It's like the most explained thing in this episode. You know what they don't fucking explain? Squid monster.
What's there to explain? It's squid time. It's
You want to know what there's to explain? Why does this nigga look so bad?
no,
Okay,
you're
so
wrong.
I'm not the...
No, fuck you. This is the worst suit they've
opinions are
done in
divided
a
again.
while.
Squid
This
Monster
thing
fucking
sucks.
rules. I love this motherfucker. This guy rules. This is one of the best suits of all time, and I will die on that hill.
Like, very sincerely, not ironically, you mean, right?
Yeah, I love this
Okay.
thing. That dude popped up, and I started hooting and hollering. like I was locked in. I'm so invested in Squid Monster. He doesn't do that much, but he's great. He's just a great guy. I love looking at him.
I'm...
Sir points out something to me though.
Hmm.
In a refreshing, inversion from Crabat, Squid Monster's head is quite yonic.
Yeah. It is a Vergania, isn't it?
That's wow. Yeah, did not notice that in process.
Virginia.
That's a Virginia.
Yeah.
That's some
She's
fine
busting-
china.
She's busting that shit way the fuck open.
And honestly, good for her
Yeah.
or him. I don't.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Untucked now, King.
It works better in motion, I'd say. Just having it front facing like this
It's
in
a
this
little-
photo I'm looking at.
Front-facing squid monster.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
cursed, yeah.
Yeah.
But-
The eyes especially are rough looking. In the still photo, they have this kind of iridescent pearlescence, a sort of effect that you can't really see when they're not in sunlight or in motion,
And
which is nice.
they put this dude in broad daylight, like from the jump, which is great because I think he has great colors.
So I kind of understand both aspects. This is a well-executed suit, but he does also look like the way fish characters are animated to look when they are struggling to breathe out of water. He is like constantly... He looks like he's choking.
That's... Yeah. Yeah, he sure does.
Like, the eyes are so bulging. They're looking at both the east and western wall of the room
I
currently.
don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need
Yeah,
it.
fully.
Yeah.
Fully.
Otherwise, he's like very textured. I do enjoy
I
that.
I love his little tentacles, and his arms and legs are also just tentacles. It really God, I don't know. I just love how this thing's executed. I love this stupid little beast.
I can
There's no purpose here.
talking over it with you guys a little more, I can appreciate bits about him more, but I think still at the end of the day the problem I have is just like at this point I expect better from this show.
I don't.
How?
Because I mean
You know-
all of the other suits that they've done have been so good. Hell, even just like the
Oh.
2 episodes before this of this most of the other suits they've done. But like
All
even
right.
like
Yeah.
the Scarab and the Armadillo, like those are good suits.
I feel like this is a question of design. The execution has been very consistently good, save for like the Jaguar guy, maybe.
Yeah, that Jaguar guy was it was very funny. I want to give a shout out to Scarab. Actually, we never really went over him all that much, which is fine. Whatever. I just want to point out that they gave that man functional grippas,
His little pinchy.
and they have this great shot where they start low and close to the grippas, and he's like, "Rah, rah, rah," and they kind of like lift up and get the full body. Like when comparing to the humanoid bugs and the humanoid mammals, and others. Yes, I don't think he lives up to the same standard, but also, I don't know, he's just a giant squid running around, and I am satisfied with that imagery.
I am entirely willing to cede that. He's kind of fun to look at. I think maybe I would have been able to enjoy him more if either A, he had done more in the episode, or B, I was less tired.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
He didn't need to be here.
he's here to menace you. He's here to attack you. He's here to get you. He's gonna get the girl and she's gonna go help.
He's gonna grip you with his suckers. He is riddled with all the sucker cups. They really went to town with those.
It's so many. This girl sure does speak English.
Yeah, they just very, like, anime girl had her throw in some phrases here and there.
Yeah.
Truly, it's a thing that, like, keeps coming up that is always so kind of endearing to me. Japan really does truly love to have a character who, their thing is they speak a little bit of English, and God is my witness when I say a little bit of English. I mean, like, a sentence.
The stuff I retained from high school.
Basically, yeah.
With little fluency, unlike John Whiteman from Kuuga,
Yeah.
who's clearly English fluent. You could tell, you could hear it.
Love John Whiteman.
If he wasn't, he had us all fooled. But, yeah.
I feel like the twist would be that dude is Russian fluent and didn't speak a word of English, but figured it out.
That would be the twist, yeah, that he only knows Japanese and Russian.
Good for him. Maybe he knows all three. It's possibly the most likely answer.
Yeah.
So something big happens.
Yeah.
What the big thing? Who happened?
Guy whose presence I forgot about because I forgot to catch up on some episodes. So, B gave me a rundown at some point because I missed a couple of days, missed episodes, and so I needed to play catch up. And I was like, how many of these are like super important? And they were like, well, they didn't say Bergenia, but you described Bergenia showing up and that being pretty vital, and which is I agree. And you mentioned someone that people aspired to be like the new Taki, and I don't remember if you did or if you didn't say it or if I forgot you said it. That this dude's name is literally Taki.
Yep.
Yeah. I assume it's an homage.
This is also on me for forgetting what the rest of Taki's name was anyways. So for a good solid minute, I was like, fucking Taki's name! Holy
Ooh,
shit!
It started with a K. What was it?
I want to say it was Kazuya Taki? Is that right?
Kazuya Taki. That sounds great.
I want to say yes as well, because I did look it up immediately upon finding this dude and being like, oh, wait, that's different. Yeah, Kazuya Taki was actually way more tan. Kind of forgot about that. He was in that Japan Action Club. Like, they're out in the sun, having fun in the sun. Also, he would have been notably older by now. I don't know why. He thought for a second this guy was the same. I was like, I don't know. It's been a while. Maybe I forgot.
I don't know. Japanese celebrities, sometimes they just don't age.
It's true. The difference between a Japanese actor in his 20s and 30s is probably not terribly different for a lot of them. You're still not a young adult, I guess, but an adult. A regular, normal adult.
Yeah.
So normal.
So normal.
Bog standard adult.
But yeah, this motherfucker parachutes in and shit with guns blazing. This is like giving me This scene was giving me whiplash for a moment, but it fucking owned because he's just like, because we like do really hard, fast cuts of like just a guy jumping out of a plane while the fight's happening. You're just like, wait, what was that? Oh, it's this man whipping out a machine gun, wasting this
Got that
dude.
motherfucking thing on him.
He's got so many of those motherfucking things on him, and he's not afraid to use them in this entire episode. Every situation, he was like, boom, boom. Like, he didn't ask a single question. When the bad guy showed up, he started blasting. And also doing insane helmet kicks.
His special dragon shoot.
That was so unnecessary.
I loved it.
It was great.
We gotta make sure we reference the dragon shoot every time Taki comes back. Because it's what allows us to establish that he's a good guy in the first episode that he shows up in.
That's great. Yeah, because I remember later on, he stunted so hard, it stuck in Kotaro's memory twice. It permanently embedded into his long-term memory, which is an important plot point.
We'll get to that, but yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
God.
we aren't even there yet. This
I was
episode
gonna
is
say,
so
yeah.
full of shit that doesn't matter. Including the plot.
I think this is probably the episode the most full of shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like barely an episode.
I was quite disappointed in this episode, frankly.
Yeah.
The problem too is it is not like barely an episode in the way that I feel like episode 31 is barely an episode. And honestly, 31 actually has thinking back on it, 31 actually does have a decent amount of plot going to it.
31's a lot of fun.
31 is a lot of fun. That's the point I'm making, is like 31 though is a lot of fun, and like those parts where it is pretty like episode plot light, it's understandable as to why it is that way, at least in my mind. This episode doesn't have that fucking excuse.
I don't know. I felt like I was at least fully entertained by basically whenever Taki was on screen.
Oh sure.
I loved that their little exposition conversation, probably where I missed some important details because I was too distracted by Taki like at an talking to Kotaro at an angle so he could like smolder towards the camera and like stick his hand like a little down his jacket like in shirt, like oh. Like it was the sluttiest behavior I've ever seen.
I fully believe that was him posing for Kotaro, because I remember that is also one of the few conversations that garnered any kind of a note out of me. He says something of like something positive or something affirming to Kotaro, and Kotaro makes this cute face. He just makes the absolute most adorable expression, and I was like, oh, his boyfriend gave him a compliment and he got all embarrassed.
Yeah.
So fair.
They love each other so much. I'm so happy for them. Mazel tov.
It's crazy. Yeah, just and then him just shooting guns at all times, and also during the ad break, looking directly at the screen, and then the graphic and going, "Kamen Rider Black."
True. Yeah. I was wondering what show this was. Thank you.
He says, it's like my favorite part of the episode is like later on during the final fight, he's like, Kamen Rider Black. And then Kamen Rider Black goes, Kamen Rider Black. Huge if true. But there really isn't much else. Oh, he does throw a grenade at a hostage.
Oh my god, yeah.
And the Golgum guys are like, what the fuck? Like, they look so genuinely shocked that he did that. Not that the plan worked, but that he would do that.
They attempted it, yeah. Hey, you know what? Fucking fair. If I took a hostage and strapped a mind-controlled device to her chest, I would also be genuinely amazed if the person trying to save her threw a bomb at the fucking control device.
Quite unnecessary. Women are, unfortunately, the most feeble creatures on the planet in this franchise for this time, and for a while longer, I imagine. I think you could just walk up to her and take it. I don't think that would have been a problem.
But that's not action-packed enough. We gotta blow it up.
Kick sand on her.
Well, I'm glad she could take it, apparently. Anyway, yeah, that's how we save her. Bilgenia is interfering the whole time. It's not that important. He's just on his gay boy agenda again. My favorite thing is that when he comes to confront Kotaro, it is after Lana uses her powers while brainwashed on Kotaro. And for whatever reason, it makes him lose his memory and he stumbles into a park. And he remembers the trick shot. And this is how he starts regaining his memories. He uses the trick shot to break a bench, and then like two more benches are broken in that scene. And I just think that's really funny that they just had this entire sequence of bench annihilation back to back.
So good.
Yeah.
So, I think I need to stress for anybody who is... This is for the people who do the format of listening to this first and then watching things. Whoever you are out there. You exist, apparently. It must be stressed that B-Drops just described like a little amnesia arc, right? The span of that is, I want to say, 5 minutes.
If that.
I think that's way too generous, honestly.
Maybe 3.
2, actually. Fiona
Is
counted.
it- oh, great. I'm so glad somebody counted. Because, yeah, I was like, this is the world's shortest amnesia arc. The man stumbled and was like,
insane.
who am I? Where am I? What am I? Oh, cool kicks. Oh, yeah, I'm Kamen Rider. Alright. Sorry, guys. I just had a moment.
Like, Kamen Rider has amnesia for about as long as I do when I wake up in the morning.
True.
It was so. Oh, right. I forgot when he does the trick shot into the bench and it breaks the bench. He's like, "Oh my god, what's wrong with me?"
All right. Yeah.
It's so funny. Vilgenia, in his quest for gay boy dominance, there's a scene where he like does a power move that like blows kids away, and I just think that's really funny.
I
I
had
was-
forgotten until I was reminded of this bit that I did write a note for this section right when Bergenia shows up, and it's just I just put, "Bergenia, you petty asshole, get a fucking job."
This is his job, and he loves it.
Also, B, when I saw those kids rolling away, and they were all like, I will say I did think of you.
Counted how many cheeseburgers were.
Aw.
It's just like, I saw this thing. I just saw a whole crowd of children just get wiped out. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the suffering of children, it's true.
One thing about B-Drops that's well established.
It was unfortunately very funny.
That
It's so
classic
funny.
B-Drops quote, "Oh, I love the way you beat up children."
True.
It's so sexy of you.
B-Drops courting Bergenia.
God.
Oh, world's best Golgum Mook.
You beat up children so sexy. What's your pronouns?
So... God.
What the fuck even are your pronouns, Bergenia? Legitimate question.
Your Majesty.
Yeah. My liege.
Whatever pisses off the priests the most at the time, or gives them the best chance at killing Kamen Rider.
It's best chance of killing Kamen Rider, pisses off the priest more, or best pronouns to dom someone with.
True.
Yeah.
There's no universe where that man is not a dom.
Well, he's trying to be.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Is he trying too hard?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Like, I think, like, is this dude the Uke and just in denial?
Don't.
Damn.
Why? Why would you
First of
say
all,
it like that?
invoking the old magic. Second
Oh
of all,
my god.
absolutely calling out Bergenia in a way that was probably so true that it made B-Drops legitimately spill his tea.
Shut up.
Get blasted, idiot.
Oh no.
Bergenia confirmed
No.
the bottom.
It's that girl.
Oh.
It's that picture of the girl who's like, just like shooting knives out of her mouth to the guy.
Yeah.
But it's
God.
just the word uke layered over it.
Christ.
Oh,
Absolutely demolished.
Horrible. But I get it. Uke comes with a lot
Yeah, I
more tropes attached. Shut up. Than just saying bottom. I get it. Bottom is a position and not inherently a dynamic.
yeah. I truly was trying to convey
Fair
something
enough.
more than just saying like, "Oh, you bottom." Like,
It's true, but you did just sort of like drop a nuclear warhead into chat.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine.
my job is done.
Maybe my brain. I don't know. Maybe it was just my brain. Christ. Ugh.
Listen, I'm sure there's gonna be some other people out there who are going that targeting system is gonna go straight to them once they
Other
listen
people
to
who
it.
grew up knowing too many Fujoshis while not being one.
Ugh. My condolences about your fucking life.
They got all those copies of Loveless at the Barnes and Noble, and nobody told.
Loveless was not cling wrapped. I'll tell you that. Loveless is not explicit enough to be wrapped.
Was it not
No.
ever? I could have sworn
No.
I saw some Loveless cling wrapped, but maybe people were just misinformed and did it somewhere.
But regardless, it probably should have been. Also, don't read Loveless, maybe.
Yeah,
Is my recommendation.
2024 take. Maybe don't read Loveless.
Maybe don't read Loveless.
Don't read Loveless. I don't know Loveless, but I have heard some things that are essentially
that's
maybe
probably
don't
all you
read
need to know.
Loveless.
Don't read Loveless. Listen, if you want some BL, there's way better stuff out there. The art is gorgeous. It's just a shame about literally everything else. I think it's also a shame that Loveless also, unlike a lot of other BL series, also has a few girl couples.
It's true.
It's not super common, but
If only it wasn't Loveless.
Yeah,
if only it wasn't Loveless.
Oh, sorry to drop another nuke on you.
Anyway,
activating you.
I feel like I have to say before we end this episode has a Jikai that implies that Nobuhiko will be perhaps coming back soon. If I recall correctly, it was this episode. Or was it the very end of this episode? Right, it's right before the credits. They're teasing Nobuhiko again. And I wrote, Nobuhiko? Jikai, no, another shocker school. It wasn't another shocker school, though, as we'll get into now.
It was a fun little bit of continuity.
I referred to this episode as the Japan Action Club Juniors Club Stunt Showcase Spectacular.
Wow.
They're like, hey, what if you wanted to watch a bunch of children do some sports and do some stunts, ride a motorcycle, pretend to do a shoot man good.
Someday. It's Awesome Cross 89.
True. This is a fun episode. Yeah, we bring back our boy warriors, our child warriors from the fish episode of Kamen Rider Black from last podcast
Professor
episode.
Fishman. They got ray guns. One of the kids got a ray gun. I feel like it's important to note that there's a kid who has a gun.
I mean, they all used to have guns. I guess they only were able to get one, take one back.
Yeah, they've got like unique ability sets now. Like we've got the guy who rides the bike, the kid with the gun, the kid who does martial arts.
I think that's so rad. This is like a soft pilot. This is like one of those things. Like, could we make just an actual children-formed Sentai tokusatsu show? And the answer is no, not really. But like, hey, they're pretty cool accessories to a Kamen Rider, and that's fine by me. Also, one of them didn't die. Don't worry about it. There's
only 4 in this opening, to be fair.
Was there 5 before?
I believe there were 6.
Whoa. Where'd the other one? Did 2 kids die? Hold on.
Unless my note was wrong, but my note from that episode read, oh my god, is that boy super dead? And at the end of the episode, I was like, yep, there's only 5 boys now. And I don't know if I was misspeaking, if it was supposed to be 4, but whatever it was one less. I made a note of the name of the boy who died.
Oh, yeah, let's pay proper tribute to him.
So his name was Yuji. So you might have noticed, in this episode, there is a character by the name of Yuji. It is the game developer.
Right? Oh my god. This makes so much more sense, too. This is them having their cake and eating it, too. A little bit. This episode involves a similar arc of these 4 boys having to experience someone close to them and on their side die, named Yuji. Which apparently exactly like that happened last time. I thought that death was retconned in the first place because I forgot how many were left in the first place. But they sort of did that while also retaining the fact that they can have one of the kids go, this is for Yuji when they're fighting somebody. And that's incredible. And if anybody asks, they can say, no, it was just that guy. It was just like, what did you record that old episode? No, like, it's their word against yours. And as far as they're concerned now, on this week's Kamen Rider, Yuji was just that cool adult confidant they had in the games industry. A child definitely didn't die.
This was really the most elaborate sting operation.
It needs to be for Tron, but made by people who know what video games look like.
Yeah,
I was delighted. This whole episode was just like, wow, these are real video games, or at least look like them. I'm not used to media portraying video games correctly in any shape or form.
Seeing an actual, like, authentic fucking Famicom got a pop from me. I was like, oh, so shit!
Excited. And a Game & Watch.
Yeah.
They busted both of those out.
I really... Because there's that scene in the episode where, like, all of the kids are at the electronics store, I guess, or whatever, and they're, like, playing the demos, and then, like, one kid almost gets sucked in, but instead the demo turns into Kamen Rider fighting our bad guy. And there's a part of me that really considered going and looking up if there was a Kamen Rider Black game for the NES. That would have been real cool.
Kamen Rider Black Famicom. Taiketsu Shadow Moon. For the Famicom disc system.
Oh, it's a disc system game.
Yeah, that's how you know it's some real shit.
Like, yeah, that's how you fucking know.
It was a beat up, man. It wouldn't have come out by this point because we're still in 87 in production, right?
May 15th of 88 is when this episode is.
Ooh. There's a non-zero chance that is just the video game.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because I don't have any screenshots of the game on hand, but the game did come out April 15th, 1988.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So
that rules.
Fun tie-in.
Does it have the hedgehog? I don't see him on the list. I don't see him on the list, though, so... Could be unfortunately simulated. But that's a fun coincidence.
Yeah. Could be the same engine.
Yeah, right.
You know, while they were working on it, they were like, hey, for a future episode, could you just do this for us real quick?
Yeah, can you make this weird hedgehog-looking beast? His ability is to suck people into the video games for some reason.
Is he not a porcupine?
That's probably more correct. Was he? I might have just latched onto hedgehog for arbitrary reasons. I have no evidence to support me. I said hedgehog because I have gamer brain sickness, but I knew I wasn't fucking right at a certain point. As soon as you questioned me, I was like, oh, I have no basis for this.
Your basis is Sonic. It's a fair enough assumption.
Yeah, he's as soon as I had to interrogate that, I was like, wait, that's not right. That I know this is not right. In my heart of hearts. Sorry, he's a porcupine who obviously can put people into video games. That makes a lot more sense.
Obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That answers my
question.
question.
Why wouldn't you be able to do that?
I wish I knew concrete numbers in this case again, because I feel like there is a decent chance that a bunch of little boys died during this experiment, and I have no way of knowing how many or whether that happened, but I feel like there's an implication given that there were enough disappearances for it to make the news as a headline, but they only found 2 boys in there. For too many episodes for my comfort for the purposes of the death count. As a viewer, I kind of enjoy it though, because you get to sit there and ponder the horrors. But for my purposes, for this exercise, it's frustrating. I have no idea how many people are dead.
Get your shit together, Golden. Come on.
To my memory, there is only reports on the 2. At the end of the day, that's all we have, I guess. But I also thought that thing was a hedgehog. So I don't know nothing.
You've been given reason not to trust us.
I only know video games.
I think it's really funny that their plan explicitly said they were targeting the smartest, the most athletic little boys. I just think it's really funny.
They wanted the real Chads.
I guess so.
I did write that down. Gulgum must recruit the bravest and most powerful minority. Gamers.
True.
God,
It's time for the gamers to rise up. This is their revolution.
Yeah. They were way ahead of...
Yeah.
Gulgum once again ahead of their time, truly.
True.
honestly, yeah.
Man, that kid at the beginning, that's... Like, on one hand, it kind of feels a little whack, but also I understand that it was 1988, so, like, video games, you know, you only had so many video games to choose from. And the fact that his mom still went out, like, that's not a cheap gift. Like, unless he already had the pad, but I don't think he would. Like, that was a game set, like, not just playing on the Famicom, but with that funny pad that lets you do the cool, like, running simulations and stuff. Like, man, that kid better have gotten some good A. like he got some grades.
Truly.
Honors elementary school students. Can't believe he's taking AP arithmetic.
You know, you gotta start them early.
Learning how
If you
to
want them to succeed.
AP multiplication tables.
God,
Yeah, they go up to like 14.
Oh
taking
shit!
Algebra 1.
That's 14. That's 4 more than they had the songs for. I would be fucked.
Yeah, fully boned.
Who else watching this episode thought that if they were watching this for the first time as a child, they would desperately want to be one of these kids?
I want to be sucked into the video game.
Yeah, probably.
I want to fight.
No, the soldiers.
Oh,
That's-
those kids. Yeah, probably.
You know, if only because I truly built this meta-narrative into my head that the purpose of this episode was to show off the cool new class of, like, child stuntmen and their hard work that they had put in, and look how good they do the stunt now. Like, fuck yeah, I'd want to be one of these kids.
Aren't child
Right?
soldiers cool? Don't you want to be one?
Exact. What? Okay, to be fair, what kid growing up watching, honestly, anime
Sure.
didn't
Yeah.
think child soldiers were super,
super
cool?
cool.
No,
no, for sure.
you're 100% right.
Listen, I wanted to pilot a Gundam when I
Wow,
was
cool
watching
robot.
Gundam Wing, the one that was about child soldiers.
Cool robot.
Yeah. I wanted to have a Zoid.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that one was sports, depending on which show you were watching.
Well, even the sports got a little war.
True.
That's kind of the
Zoids
problem.
is such a weird show.
Zoids fucking rules. I want to rewatch Zoids.
Yeah,
my
me too.
new
It's been
podcast.
so long.
Everybody talk about Gundam? Fuck that. Here's the real robot
Yeah.
show that matters.
Now I'm an old ass adult and I watch any of those shows and I'm like, why are the adults not constantly screaming about the state of their civilization? This is horrific, and I would be literally dying over stress about these kids constantly.
It's because they remember. They
Oh
they
my
remember
God.
what it was like when they were young children, and they desperately wanted
I
to
don't
be
care.
child
You're not.
soldiers.
I do not care. You are not getting in that goddamn mech. You are not going to war, and I am not going to watch you blow up in space. I swear to God, sit down and drink your Capri Sun.
All shonens and mech series are dystopias equally.
True.
It's true, and I think the thing that always gets me is like, because the purpose of this story is generally a manner of power fantasy and wish fulfillment for the reader, they will never acknowledge that any child soldier that dies in battle, even though they're 12 years old, is a glorious warrior's death. And that's horrific.
Mm-hmm. I think they mentioned it one more time. That's like they are actually like 20, but they had their growth stunted, so it's like, you know, they're trying to redo their childhood and failing because they formed a boys squadron.
Listen, they were like, as long as Golgum is still around,
They've
the
seen
other
too much,
little
yeah.
boys aren't going to be able to enjoy their childhoods, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let that happen.
For the freedom of children everywhere, we must shoot guns and talk to our new Yuji. They named him Yuji when he joined.
They buried him by the sea.
Did anyone else laugh as hard as I did when they cut to them all standing by his little cross gravestone in the cliffs? This little Halloween Party City Halloween decoration at the edge of a cliff.
Listen,
Oh, yeah.
listen, they did their best. They're kids.
It looked really nice. I'm just saying it looked like
Yeah.
it was from Spirit Halloween, which is nice for kids. If a kid gave me a Spirit Halloween prop, that would be pretty impressive. But it's like, oh god, Yuchi's dead, and they have just this memorial. Something about that image, just of them all saluting at this grave, is so funny to me, and it should not be.
I think it's funny how they continue to be very into crosses in this franchise as well.
Yeah, right?
I don't know how much of that is actually like having any Christians writing the show, or if it's just Ultraman influence.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. One has to think about, I guess, the trend of what graves were looking like in '88. I don't know. Maybe there was an uptick of Christian graves.
They just think it looked cool. I mean, Christianity is a very like minority religion in Japan.
It's true. I guess there's also imagery, like pop culture imagery, to consider, and that they might have absorbed. And it's like, yeah, the graves. It looks better than just a slab. Like, it's more distinct shaped.
Yes. There's often... I'm not going to say this is completely universal or anything, but the common practice is, like, family graves. So it's just interesting to look at. I'm curious.
I think that didn't play as well, I wonder.
It certainly wouldn't be as immediately recognizable here when we just have a guy in one episode dying. I just think the cross is funny. But, like, I guess, I don't know, would a regular, like, stereotypical, like, rounded tombstone look silly?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that the worry?
Because this looks like the memorial of someone who commits suicide off of this shore, you know?
Right? All those little things of, like, all the teens that did drunk driving on the windy road in my neighborhood. This is just it's just that.
It looks very much like that, especially when they put the flowers on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It needed a little picture.
Very makeshift memorial looking.
It's all they got. They just had a Halloween decoration.
They only had like $10 allowance between them.
Yeah, they just wanted
They
to
did
do
their
something.
best.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to do something, man, for Yuchi! The only
For
Yuchi
the
we've ever
second
known.
dead Yuji. Oh, you're so red. I'm sorry. I was mistaken. Yeah, game dev died. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
They killed him because he started making personal calls at work.
It's true. Oh my God.
He's the
Basically, yeah.
worst spy in the fucking world. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes the worst spy in the world is good enough to fool the fucking Golgum dipshit squad. To their
Very
full
long time for him to get caught.
to their full admittance. Yes, Brigania goes, yeah, I caught him because I actually have a brain and stuck around after you guys left. And they're like,
You
yeah,
fucking dunk asses.
yeah, we did fuck that up severely. You're right. And he's like, yeah, you guys suck. I'm leaving now. That was my role for the episode.
Yeah.
We love him for that.
It's been a while since I've just called you guys stupid and left. So I'm gonna hit that one. See ya.
See ya, fuckers. And they heal he's out.
Don't we want to fight Kamen Rider today? I'm a little tired, maybe.
He's got like a bunch of kids with him. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Ruins the vibe. Next week, maybe. I don't know if I have anything else to say about this episode.
I liked the video game world.
I like the
It
video
was
game world
fun.
as well. I'm glad that Battle Hopper got to be in it.
Yeah, Valhalla got to be in a video game.
I'm so mad though,
Hmm.
Why are you mad?
because at the end of the episode, like, they explode out of the video game world, and so does Battle Hopper. But like, Kotaro doesn't go to check up on Battle Hopper. I'm so mad.
It's a little
With
weird.
all
You're right.
due respect to Nanagon, the literal children.
Okay, but then the children are like, "Hey, I'm fine."
Battle Hopper is more important than
If
children.
you go to check on some
You
children,
two would make excellent parents.
well, that's why I'm planning to not be one. But like, if you and your dog and like 5 children get like thrown out of an airplane, and the children are all okay, you're okay. Do you go check on the dog, especially if it hasn't gotten up?
Okay, then they would check on the dog, yeah.
Then why didn't you check on Battle Hopper?
Because he doesn't give that much of a shit about his dog. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Also, that dog can regenerate.
Also,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
the
oh,
dog
yeah.
regenerates, and it can talk.
Yeah, Hiroshi understands the dog. That was like my favorite part of the episode, is when Battle Hopper just rolls up and goes, beep, 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 beep. Hiroshi's like, oh yeah, alright.
He still deserves more respect. He's Battle Hopper.
I understand. Battle Hopper is more important than children, I agree.
Yes, thank you.
80s computer world on a budget. I think with that in mind, it was cool. And then they started doing some stuff that I started getting genuinely impressed by. They like leaned in on making it be viewed from a 2D perspective like a video game, and they started doing fight like
was
camera
fun.
angles like that. That was awesome. I
Yeah,
genuinely love
definitely someone who loved video games had a big say in this
that.
episode.
Someone who's seen a video game at all, which
True.
is usually like 1,000.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure they loved him too, but it's like the bar in media, at least in American media, is so
Yeah.
low.
The thing is, I'm not gonna go on a huge tangent about this, but like, there is a pretty popular anime running right now that is predominantly about like a bunch of people playing an MMO, and I still think people are not getting it right even today.
Mm-hmm. MMOs are tough, but at the same time, I think if you center a series around it, you have plenty of like fruit to utilize, it's disappointing to hear that they don't, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily in a bad way to talk about. Let's talk about the Kamen Rider that has the least, the dream sequence episode, episode 32, Dream Girl Yuki.
I'm not gonna disagree that there's not like much in the nitty gritty that I super want to talk about, but I do think this episode owns.
Tell me what
I
tell
love
me
this
what you think
episode.
about this episode, because I will say this first and foremost fully. This episode just has a bunch of like really cool set pieces that it uses, and that I thought were all really good. The bit where Kotaro is watching over Yuki as she sleeps, and they have like the dream sequence fight where they have her like walk on the walls and stuff, was a great set piece. When he gets mushroom powdered and then he gets sent to the Go Nagai disco floor to talk with Bisham was a good set piece. The fucked up evil dream swamp where I guess he was
Yeah.
stuck in Yuki's like scattered fragmented memories of the car accident that her mom died in or whatever.
Oh my god.
It was like a Psychonauts
yes.
level.
Yeah, that shit ruled.
Yeah, this episode's insane. Also, I, now that you said it, like, it truly clicked into place because, yeah, I was just kind of like vibing through this and not taking a lot of detailed notes.
Mhm.
But because I called it, this one's for you, Fats, the Firefly Funhouse. Got to have a fight in the swamp in a creepy swamp. But yeah. The first thing that struck to this episode is how goddamn long it takes Kotaro to show up in it, and I thought that was great. I was holding out a weird bit of hope that he wouldn't. I was like, I thought we were gonna have like this could have been such a fun bottle episode of Golgum interacting with an aspect or a person interacting with Golgum, I guess. Totally from their point of view. And if you have Kamen Rider in it, you could have it in like as sparse moments. You never get the what's Kamen Rider doing moments. You only get her perspective until suddenly this Bugman shows up and saves the day.
Oh damn it! It's Kamen Rider.
That would have been so cool. Once again, the running theme of this podcast episode is I'm imagining the postmodern Kamen Rider Black, and it's fucking awesome.
Looking back at my own notes from trying to watch this episode, and I mentioned it got so bad that even I had to omit it in my notes. The last thing I wrote down from when I tried to watch this episode this morning was, I'm too tired for this episode right now, to be quite honest.
This episode's not good for a sleepy mind.
This
Yeah.
episode sucks if you're tired.
No, you gotta be paying attention.
The vibes. Yeah.
Or at least ready.
Or
to
you
vibe.
gotta be half asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it might enhance it.
Submit to the vibe.
that's what
Yeah.
I did when I watched it. And, like, it's interesting because for the podcast, it was not a great idea. This is probably, like, one of my favorite episodes of Kamen Rider Black. But because I watched it so close to, like, going to sleep, because of the actual atmosphere of the episode itself, everything just actually kind of, I remember it like a dream. So it's just like, that happened. That there was definitely a scene where like Kotaro gets attacked by like his motorcycles and like a demon girl
It's true.
shows up or something, and I'm like,
That part
I'm
was
not-
awesome.
Yeah, and I know that some of that's real. I don't know if all of it is.
Like there's a fascinating blurred line of like what the hell was actually real about this. Like so much of it was just like, well, obviously they're fighting in his own brain, but it really turned into just meshing into, I guess they're wizards, so I suppose I shouldn't just discount it. Like they made like a dream dimension that the mushroom can access or something, because it kind of turned into Freddy Krueger battles a little bit.
And I really appreciated having that meta narrative that I created of just, I don't know what's real in the episode because I don't remember it well.
I mean, even if you're paying attention, I feel like you would feel the same way. There was some nuns, and they were feeding children mushroom soup, and then they
Oh,
just sort of
yeah.
activated a projection in the into the ether.
Like that.
and it was just full of shit. Like there wasn't even like a coherent theme to what they were being shown. It was just like animals. They were just watching a slideshow of animals and like destroyed buildings.
It's chaos.
It's fascinating.
I love the blurred lines between, like, dream, hallucinations, and reality all kind of shifted between one another from scene to scene in a way that I found fun.
I really wish this had more than like 20 minutes to get its point across. Because I think if this was like a movie special or something, it'd be fantastic. It's already doing some pretty good work, but just like to further push it forward and elaborate on it, I think would be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Mm-hmm.
so strange. I do love the part where he brings Yuki back to her dad, and the narrator just kind of like fills in the gap of the story because they super didn't film any more dialogue for that scene or something. And it's like, and he begged him to watch over her while she slept, and he agreed apparently.
Apparently. Like, I know we can trust him, but that's, like, not a good
At
call,
least he asked
sir.
this time, unlike Shitaro, who just walked in. Hey, can I get a drink?
Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy Kamen Rider. Let me borrow 50.
Hey, whoop! Looking at that bug.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
We get to see Bisham effectively out of makeup as she
Yeah.
plays a nun.
I-
That's fun.
So, in a more coherent world, in a world where this episode did not go the fucking crazy ass places it did, I thought this was going to be like a wrinkle of depth, and I thought because they were like, because she was dreaming about Bisham, and I thought we were gonna have like sort of like a pseudo psychic child connection to Bisham, and that Bisham was secretly her mom, and there was gonna be this whole thing
She faked her death to join Golgum.
Or like got kidnapped or something,
Body snatched by
and
Golgum.
her daughter is magic and psychic or something, so she has this like connection, and then Golgum's gonna want a piece of that. But then you could have this whole thing about, maybe Bisham gets humanity restored. I don't know.
A lot of things that you could do in the post-erotic Kamen Rider.
That one felt reasonable for Kamen Rider. It's a thing he does. It would have been a fun twist.
Maybe not in Showa era Kamen Rider, but in a later
Maybe.
era.
Yeah, this is something. What you are describing is 1,000%. It would have been a thing that would have happened in the Heisei Kamen Rider.
I'm just thinking about the wrestle lizard. He wrestled that lizard so hard it turned him back into a dad, but that was covered in the same episode. So I understand that they kind of want to keep it to that.
Marumo.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. That's really where I thought it was going, and boy, did this just decide. No, we're gonna take you some crazy places. Actually, we're gonna have the psychic disco dimension. In which, hey, remember that Kotaro's a dead dad? We got that guy back for a minute.
Yeah, we're pulling on everyone's trauma today.
It was fun.
That car crash scenario setting thing, that set piece is haunting with the did we give the context that her mom died in a car crash?
We hadn't yet, but yeah, there it is.
We have, yeah.
To be fair,
There you go.
the show only gives us that little nugget in a piece of narration after the cold open.
Such a cool set.
There was something about that little narrative bit that was just very funny to me, of watching her bike into the woods as the narrator goes, her mom died 3 years ago. Also, now she likes to bike into the woods and look at shit.
Yeah. She likes to find God.
That's just how it is as a kid. Sometimes you just stumble into an activity you like and you don't know why or how. I miss those days.
The before times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before you had to justify any hobby you wanted to try to take up.
Mm-hmm.
Or action that you wanted to take.
I still try to do that from time to time. It's not very successful, but hey.
I admire your effort regardless.
I have been trying to.
That was the car her mom died in.
Yeah,
Anyway.
probably. Yeah, this set, I've been thinking more and more about it as we discussed it, and now I'm looking at it again and going, God damn, they put some incredible work into this with that understanding. Yeah, you said, Pete, it's haunting. It's genuinely kind of haunting. This is the fucked up door in your Psychonauts level that's just yeah, this is gonna be filled with fire demons.
Yeah.
This explains the character, by the way. Here, check it out.
Yeah.
It's a little too good for Kamen Rider Black.
They got an artiste on this episode.
I'm impressed. I think the weight of this might have been lost on me as a small child watching this a single time on television. As an adult, I look at this and I think this poor little girl looking at this again. I can't imagine what it feels like. An implication that maybe she was there at the crash where her mother died and, she survived, possibly because she was in the back seat and she was present for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cry.
Yeah, right.
Understandable.
Oh, poor kid. Anyway, Kamen Rider gets spit on a lot this episode. So that's fun.
Speaking of, I do want to take a quick sojourn to talk about the mushroom really quickly. Just because I think this is a really good suit.
Yeah, I enjoy freak mushroom suit with the hidden eyes that peek out.
Primo horror creature. This is mushroom, this is Kinoko more, just refined.
Yo, for sure.
It's really not that much different, but it looks so much better.
He truly fits the vibe of the sort of, classical... obviously there's, some fairy tale, Western fairy tale inspiration for some of the aesthetics here. We even open this episode on some
Disney
lawn
copyrights.
ornaments of Snow White and the Dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just such a perfect little girl nightmare creature. It's great. I love it.
It's just so funny, this picture, and multiple times in the episode, that you just have to see him in a very normal field in broad daylight.
Yeah.
It is entirely not the vibe he needs to be in. You need that smoky forest dreamscape world like 100% of the time. Because, I mean, like, it's still a great suit, and, like, it holds up under daylight scrutiny of just, like, being really good looking. But the vibe you need him in to be effective is going to be dark and stylized.
Yeah. This guy would fit in, like, perfectly well in, like, any of the American McGee Alice games. I love this guy. My favorite suit of the set of episodes.
For sure.
You want to know what my horrible narrative is, looking at this dreamscape, is that Yuki liked to bike, right, like, even before, and her mom was driving home and almost hit her and veered off of like a fucking bridge or something.
Oh, that's terrifying.
There's just so much like bike
Ow.
paraphernalia in this environment that I'm just like, did that come into play? Something hard. The implications. I'm addicted to
There's
the
various
implications.
appliances out there too.
What was the disco
I don't
about?
know. There's just so much I would want to dig into. I'd want to sit there and analyze it if I could, if they gave us more.
Did Kotaro have a disco memory? Is he having disco flashbacks? I'm kind of obsessed with that brief moment that you just summoned him to a goddamn disco just as his dad. It's like, is that something they shared together? Did they go dancing on a Friday night?
This might be one they chose exclusively for aesthetics. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw the disco scene and my brain immediately went to that Yakuza clip that always gets passed around on
It's
Fridays.
Friday night. Anyways, he blows up the mushroom in the dream, and I was like, oh, okay, now he's got to really fight it, and it's over.
When you die in the game, you die for real. I know that
Turns
was
out
last
it was a
episode,
hallucination
but...
this time and not a dream. So he still killed it, I guess.
Yeah, well, I was expecting some sort of connection to the real world once it died, but it just sort of was like, okay, like, no, that was a real place. Now you're gonna leave it. It wasn't like your perception of the world. It was just that was a zone that you occupied because of the mushroom poo gas.
Yeah, listen, you smoke the mushroom poo gas, you get sent to the evil zone. I don't know what to tell you.
It spit out a lot of kids, also.
It sure did, yeah.
God, right. There were sure just a bunch remaining, huh?
We brushed over it really quickly because it wasn't, like, important, but I would be remiss not to mention that when they're explaining the mushroom soup that they feed these children, they do explain that a number of children don't acclimate to it and they just die.
Yep.
They've just killed a bunch of kids, apparently, and I have no idea how. This is another one of those instances where they state or imply that there's a number of deaths that happen, which is, as a viewer, interesting and horrific to dwell on, and as the death counter, frustrating.
Independently, yeah, it's better to leave it unsaid because you're going,
It's better,
what the
yeah.
fuck? How many have you
Yeah.
gone through?
Do they even know?
Like, there was 6 kids who apparently grew into rowdy teenagers or something. What the fuck was up with that? That seemed like way too big of an age jump. Like, how long have you been doing this?
A long-running project for Bisham, apparently.
There was another dreamlike element of it, because it was just like, well, that sure is a leap that I guess makes dream logic sense, but why are they so old? They're riding motorbikes. Unless
she brought the mushroom soup to a different school that was teaching bike lessons to get your license.
Yeah, it's a school. They're kids, sort of. Whatever. My experiment's
Sort
still
of.
valid. Shut up. MF Doom and Steve are making fun of me because I'm a woman.
This is true.
And for no other reason.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, yeah, what do they got against her? What ammo do they have that she can't say to
I'm
them?
not saying they can't be hypocrites about what they're making fun of her for.
That's fair.
They're complete hypocrites, of course. They're all laughing at each other, thinking, oh, it's good I'm not that
Yeah,
stupid.
thank God I'm the genius. These people are dumb as hell. Luckily, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
They're all thinking that. Separate thought bubbles.
Every single one of them.
I just love the notion of, like, every time the three of them are together, when one, like, takes center stage to do something, the other two are, like, thinking these scathing remarks and takedowns of them in their mind. And then every time it's Sheev Palpatine's turn to cast a spell, the thought bubbles behind M of Doom and Go Nagai just immediately go old vacuum ass.
It's just that they each have that thought bubble of just like, oh man, these guys are all idiots and I'm the only real genius. And then it's all three of them with the same one, and then Briganius there and he's just thinking of Kamen Rider Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a show.
Yeah,
What a
what a
show.
show.
I love
What a
Kamen Rider
fascinating
Black. I enjoy this
episode. This guy, the guy who wrote this one, by the way, also wrote the Fishman Child Soldier one.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like that tracks.
In a weird way, like, I don't know.
Certainly likes horror.
I guess I should look at the director, though. The director... This is his first... No, this is the first one of Black that he directed. But he went on to direct a good chunk afterwards of them.
Oh, I look forward to it. I enjoyed the direction of this
I was gonna
episode very
say,
much.
I hope this is a sign of things to come, because, like, I think he has a pretty cool vision. I assume he is responsible in part, at least, for how this episode was structured and stuff.
Ooh. He does direct the finale.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
That's, yeah. Something to look forward to. Can I spoil something that you won't be looking forward to ever again?
Hit me with it.
Because I accidentally did. Taki's never coming back.
What?
Oh, really?
What?
Are you kidding?
That was the second and last
That's-
appearance of Taki.
Man,
What?
that's a shame.
What?
That's...
I just want to. I figured I should break it to y'all because we have like 17 more episodes, and I don't want you wondering. I think it would
Yeah,
hurt
that's
you.
fair.
Fair. I would have been waiting for him to come back.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked.
I
They really did nothing
Wow.
else with that guy.
I wasn't waiting for him to come back the first time because I'm like, this show's not introducing characters that come back, and then they bring them back. And,
They did back to back. Taki and the child soldiers.
what?
They're
Yeah.
going crazy with that. Anyways, that's enough of that.
Anyway, speaking of going nuts, let's go nuts on the death count with B-Drops.
Well, unfortunately not too nuts this time. There was a lot of vague death, which, as we've gone over multiple times now, as a viewer, is very interesting to ponder upon. It does add to the atmosphere a lot. It does make Golgum feel a bit more threatening. But as a person doing the death count, unfortunately, I can't really quantify any of these, and it is thus far been a long-standing rule that if I can't prove it, if it doesn't happen on screen, then it doesn't count. Sad face. Anyway, starting with the window count, one.
There was
One.
I was
I-
happy there was
window.
one.
I bent the rules a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, and this is a little pedantic of me to maybe consider it bending the rules. So the window that they broke through was a window, but it was boarded up. It didn't have glass in it. But when Kotaro breaks through it, they do make a glass shattering noise. So
I forgot about
I
that
decided to count that because I assumed that was their intention and they just didn't have glass to use.
part. Yeah, just throw a board in there. I remember
Yeah.
watching that and wondering, will this count? So I'm very happy.
I believe this will count. There were a number of walls broken through these
Ooh.
episodes, so unfortunately, those won't go in here. Onto the kills, though. We have our regular Team Rider kills, one per episode for the big monster, and we have only one confirmed Golgum kill, unfortunately. All the rest are vague and speculative. The one Team Golgum kill is Yuji, the first human to die twice in a Kamen Rider show.
Rest in peace, Yuji. You will be missed, but not forgotten.
See, my worry about this episode is that you'd have to take one back, and then adult Yuji would just fill its place, so the number wouldn't change.
I'm assuming this is a
So-
different Yuji because they didn't
That's just you.
express anything. I think you were right about the have your cake and eat it too, because there's not really a strong implication that this was the same kid that they reversed the de-aging or the age pause thing, because why wouldn't they do it for everyone? They also just didn't mention it, so I figured it's just a different guy. So yeah, that gives us 6 total kills for these for these 5 episodes. And that leads us a total of 45 kills for Team Kamen Rider and 15 for Team Golgum, leaving us with a total of 60 as of Kamen Rider Black episode 32.
Wowzers.
We are almost at double, so I'm wondering if we can get that number up just a little bit.
I am convinced that we can do it. I believe.
It is a Showa era rider, so I'm hoping at least one of these episodes will be a multi-monster episode, perhaps resurrecting or just throwing a bunch of new ones at them. Those are great for the kill counts since we have no mooks.
That's been the big difference, truly. We've watched 2 mookless riders. Absolutely mookless behavior on 2 of these
True.
shows. And like, and it's just like, you just start longing for some disposable guys to just
Fodder,
get chewed
yeah.
on by a super powered bugman.
Takeshi Hongo with a sword was the most fun kill counts tend to be for me.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That man gets a bladed weapon and everybody is going down.
Yeah. Takeshi, we miss you.
A bygone era.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We hope that you had a wonderful time. Come join us next time when it'll be. Did y'all catch it? Did you see this momentous occasion next time?
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The biggest of big deals, ladies and gentlemen. It's episode 69.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Anyway, episode 69, where
Nice.
unless things are different for whatever reason, we will be doing another batch of 5 episodes. We'll be doing episodes 33, The River of a Father and Child's Love. Episode 34, Revival, Hell Prince. Episode 35, Showdown, 2 Princes. That's what I said now. Episode 36, The War Declaration of Love and Death. And episode 37, Memories Are Yubari's Sky.
Excitement.
I am excited.
Excitement.
I think...
We might have plot next
That's
time.
fucked up.
Can you believe it?
Could you imagine?
Also salmon.
Also salmon.
I don't think that's gonna be the
Also
plot one, but I am
salmon.
excited for the salmon and his pink goo and why is there a wheelchair boy in the woods? Find out.
Yeah.
We're going to have a talk about disability representation in Kamen Rider Black. Tune in next time.
Yippee.
It's probably not gonna be good.
It's probably not going to be good. Based on the Jikai already being like, will he find the courage to walk again?
Oh no!
I'm certain Kamen Rider Black has excellent disability representation.
It'll
Tune
be,
in next time and find out.
It'll be like the "You're a strong, independent woman" episode.
Who wants to place bets right now that they're not going to say what's going on with this boy?
Right,
That he's just
Yeah,
anime
he's
sick.
got anime.
Oh,
on
yeah.
this.
Oh, for sure. He's like, there's no universe where he doesn't have anime signals.
Damn, that's
I was
not a
gonna
bet.
say,
This is
I feel like
bet, yeah.
Anyway.
you know what? I'll throw in my hat. I don't know what we're betting, but I'll throw in my hat for.
Well, you do have a lot of hats
Oh,
to bet,
shit.
so
Yeah.
now the pressure is on. I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
That they're gonna say he got in some kind of accident.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, that's a possibility.
It's either it's going to either be anime sickness or an accident. I'll throw in for accident.
So that way there's a 50-50 split. I'll join the shakes on the accident side.
Yeah, okay.
if they say anything, I'm going to predict they're going to throw out the word psychosomatic at some
Oh
point.
my God.
I mean, given the
Ooh.
preview, maybe. I mean, I say either way. They could. It's like, oh yeah, he has psychosomatic disease, or he has an accident, but he healed a long time ago. But he doesn't think he can walk again. You must give him the courage. Why did we take him to the woods? Get us out of here.
Why did we take? This is not wheelchair accessible.
Well, you can't. Exactly. So you have to walk.
You have to have the courage to walk.
That's the point. They dumped him in the woods to force him to try to walk home.
Yeah,
That's
it's like when
so
it's like when you
awful.
teach a child to swim by just throwing them in the pool.
You're gonna teach your child to drown.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, bye. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that you had a wonderful time. Have a good day, week, weekend, etc., all that good stuff. Love yourself, love your loved ones, and always remember, if you can't believe in God and you can't believe in Buddha, well shit, you can always believe in Kamen Rider.